Hello. How do you like my hair? It's all just like nicely combed out the shower. What's left of it. So, I wasn't actually supposed to be doing a fighting fantasy playthrough today. It was not on my schedule. So, this is impromptu, as some of these. Oh, I got a text. As some of these streams often are. Now, here's the book, which I've recently purchased. It's a reprint of an original book. There are 21 of the fighting fantasy books currently available. I've tracked down a couple of the older ones that are they are also available, but I've got original editions, and I've just picked up a couple more. I've got Freedom Fighter, which is like a Mad Max book. That's coming to me in the post. It should arrive tomorrow, I would think, and I'm going to be playing that. That was one of my favorite books back when I used to play these as a kid. So I'm gonna re-embrace my youth and play that again. So I'll be playing that at some point. I'm pretty keen to play that one, so that's gonna be bumped up to the schedule. I've also got. I'm up to Lone Wolf Book 10. Dungeons of Torgar. There's the reprint of that. I'm expecting to play that probably next week. I was hoping to go away next week, but I don't think that's happening. So, and I am planning on whizzing over to Holland fairly soon to see a friend who is not very well. So, if I've got fans in Holland, let me know, and we'll hook up for a drink. So, one of the things I realised that I forgot to check before I came on this stream was where I got to in the book. So I'm going to have a quick look at part 1. Oh, hang on. I was careful enough to write them in the numbers in the chat. So I got up to, yeah, that was clever, wasn't it? Well done, Lance. You do clever things occasionally, not very often, but now and then. Okay, yeah. So I got up to I got up to entry 26. All right, good. That was easily resolved, wasn't it? So, is Desert Phoenix here? Darren Edmondson. Oh yeah, hi Darren. Good to see you. I hope. How did the walk go? Let me know how the walk went. The weather was pretty decent here yesterday, so I hope it was good for you guys in Wales. Absolute pleasure to have you on. Today's streaming is a bit niche, might not be your bag, but you might find the stream I did about the film The Longest Day yesterday. That is on the channel, and that was a 3-hour stream I did with a friend. We really dissected that movie in some depth and talked about where it was filmed and how it was filmed and that kind of stuff. So, right. So I'm pushing on playing Shadow of the Giants, and I'm on section 26. So for those people who don't know what this is, oh yes, I've even got the page indented. It looks like I'm about to meet an attractive lady. I mean, that's always good. I got stood up by one today, which is why I'm doing this game. That's lovely, mate. Great weather. Went really well, and everyone made it. Weather was lovely. Couldn't have gone better. Fantastic. I hope you got some good boots on the ground and local support, and I hope that's in the press. I don't know what's happening with my hair today. It looks terrible. I know what we should do. Let's put a baseball cap on. There we go. Fantastic. Looks a lot better now. Right. Okay. So, yeah. So this is a choose your own adventure book, and I'm playing these live online. This is a hobby of mine when I was younger, and I made a commitment to playing the entire Lone Wolf series, which I never finished when I was young, and I thought it'd be fun to do those. But I've also recently been trying to pick up. I've been trying to pick up other books, and the Fighting Fantasy range was the other big range. So this is Shadow of the Giants. So I'm going to be playing that today. So yeah, okay. So the basic plot thus far was I was an adventurer looking for, you know, treasure and all the usual things, and me and this dwarf accidentally released this curse from this old discarded crown, which had a series of giants around the headpiece, and they came to life and got rather giant and escaped, and now they're ravaging the town. So I've forgotten exactly what I'm doing in this city, but I think I'm looking for somebody to do something. Anyway, okay, so I'm in this town. You follow a dirt track through to a gated stone archway into Crown Street, which is narrow cobble road lined with old buildings. Okay, there's a guard with a dented helmet and chainmail armor leaning on his spear by the main gate, but he pays you no attention as he slowly munches on an apple. Looks half asleep. You see people going about their business, some carrying baskets, others wheeling wooden barrows along the bumpy road. Everybody looks happy, chatting and laughing together in the warm, early evening sun. Right, okay. Then a shifty-looking juggler in a red and green silk costume, he does sound shifty, and wearing a fool's cap and silk slippers, curled up at the toe, dances around you, tossing wooden balls in the air, hoping that you might drop a coin into the tin cup on his belt. You walk past him, straight into the path of a long-haired young woman who is dressed in shin-length burgundy gown with long flared sleeves and brown boots. A dagger is tucked into her belt, and she has a leather purse across her shoulders. I think I'm in love. She stands in front of you, hands on hips, and says with a beaming smile, "Welcome to Hamelin. My name is Binny Brogan. It would be my pleasure to give you a tour of the town. Just 1 gold piece is all I ask. I'll make sure you find a place to stay, if you're planning on staying, that is." I think I am planning on staying, and very nice to meet you. What do you say? If you want to pay Binny 1 gold piece for a tour of Hamelin, turn to 125. If you'd rather politely refuse and walk on, turn to 356. Well, I mean, you know, how can I resist this lovely smile? I think I have to say yes. I'm not sure about the hair, but we'll go for it. So I'm turning to 125, so I'm going to record these in the chat as I go. 125. All right. Let's go to 125. Seem to recall I was pretty knackered when I did this the first time. I think my voice was going. I've done a big stream somewhere else. Yeah, by the way, I'm due to have a haircut either today or tomorrow, and actually all my hair is going to come off because I'm losing it anyway. So I figured I need to get rid of it because it's looking a bit silly. Right. Binny thanks you for paying her and says, "You look like you've travelled far and must be hungry, governor. I think I should take you to an inn before we begin the tour. Follow me." Don't like the sound of that. I think I'd rather just go straight for the tour, but that doesn't appear to be an option. She turns down a narrow alleyway which ends in a tavern called the Krusty Pie Inn. Burning lanterns hang above the open doorway. You can hear raucous laughter coming from inside. Binny beckons you enter. "After you," she says cheerfully. "I think you're going to enjoy yourself in here." I'm not really sure I want to go into a crowded tavern, but it looks like I am. You enter the crowded tavern where you see 5 people sitting at a table. One of them is a huge barbarian, each with an empty plate in front of them. A burly red-cheeked man wearing an apron over his shirt and breeches bangs a copper pan with a ladle and shouts, "I need 1 more person to volunteer for this evening's pie contest. Pies are free, and if you win, you get a free room for the night if you want it. All the losers pay 2 gold pieces each to cover the cost of the pies. Who fancies their chances?" "I don't want to enter a pie eating contest, thank you. I want a tour of the town, so I'll just watch the contest." 53. So we're going to 53. Pie eating contest, please. I've already got a bit of a COVID tummy, so I'm not indulging in more pies. Who ate all the pies? That's where that phrase comes from. So I think I've got to take off a gold piece on my character sheet. So let me just do that because I'm showing the lady around the town. So I'm down to 25. Okay. Or the lady's supposed to be. So far, I don't think much of this tour because she hasn't Show me anything. Binny looks disappointed by your decision. I think you had a good chance to win, but never mind, she says. Anyway, it's getting late, so I'm going home. I suggest you stay here for the night, and I'll be back first thing in the morning to give you a tour of the town. I've paid for this tour, and she's pissing off already. She turns and walks out the tavern, leaving you to join the crowd to watch the pie eating contest. It's won by the barbarian, who effortlessly gobbles down 5 meat pies, while the other contestants turn green and fall away one by one. Well, I'm not that sure that I would have won the pie eating contest. Before you retire to your room, you ask everybody in the tavern if they know where Marek Omyash lives. Oh, that's right. That's what I'm looking for. But nobody seems to know him. You manage to get a good night's rest. Add 2 stamina points. Now, I don't know if my stamina points, I don't think they exceed their original amount. Let me just check. So, I'm just eventually waits you. No, hold on. Where's the rules here? Not seeing the rules. Oh, they're at the back of the book, aren't they? They're at the back of the book. Okay, hold on. I think they're at the back. Yeah. Okay, so stamina and provisions. Your stamina score will change a lot during the adventure. You start the game with enough provisions when you're doing. Okay. Nothing about. Let's just see the initial section on this. Roll 2 dice. Add the number 12 rolled and enter this into the stamina box. Roll 1 dice and add this number and enter this into the luck box. I don't know. I can't remember what my initial stamina was. It's 16 at the minute. I think it's. I think it's at its max because I think I seem to recall that I rolled low for my stamina, but I rolled high for my skill. So I'm going to assume that's my normal stamina. Okay. Right. You go downstairs in the morning where you find the innkeeper cleaning up the mess from the night before. Binny Brogan, when he was in here earlier, said she couldn't wait for you any longer and had to go. You thank the innkeeper and pay him 3 gold pieces for the room before you leave the tavern, wondering why Binny couldn't wait for you. Turn to 364. Well, so far she's kind of diddled me. But okay, so I've got to take off 3 gold pieces, so I'm down to 22. I'm now. I've gone to 364 now. I think I missed out a number there, but that doesn't matter. 364. Okay. So there are lots of people up early and walking Crown Street towards the centre of town. You ask a passerby where everyone is going to, and he tells you that they're on their way to celebrate the first day of unlocking at the fair, which only comes to Hamelin once every 6 months. You follow the crowd and notice 2 odd-looking fellows coming in the opposite direction, deep in conversation. One is a middle-aged man who's carrying some old leather book under his arm, his baggy shirt tucked into wool breeches, which are held by a wide leather belt. He is wearing a wide-brimmed hat and looks suspiciously like Gandalf. He has a long beard which hangs down to the floor. The other man, who is younger and much shorter in height, is walking along on wooden stilts with an equally long beard brushing the floor. If you want to stop them and ask them a question or carry on, I am going to stop them. I'm going to show you the picture of them first. They look like this. Yeah, that's a nice picture. I don't know who the artist is in this. I don't think Ian Livingstone does the artwork. Let's have a quick look at the credits at the front. I feel I should give the artist a shout out. Text Ian Livingstone, cover and inside illustrations by Mike McCarthy. So Mike McCarthy, very good picture, Mike. I am going to stop them and ask a question, so I'm going to go to 37. Okay. 37. Let's have a look. The men stop and stare at you with furrowed brows. The man on the stilt says in a sharp voice, "How rude of you! Don't you know we are? We are the wise beards. We are deep thinkers. We don't have time to stand around and talk to strangers. What do you want?" You ask if they know where Marek Yash lives. If you want to ask where he lives, or if you want to ask where the Hamlin Fair is taking. Well, I don't need to ask about the fair. Let me ask about the guy. So I'm going to 324. Okay. If you mean Marek Yosh, the old warrior, you're wasting your time. He's a recluse. He won't speak to you. He doesn't speak to anybody anymore. He hasn't been seen in several months, but you never know. He might make a secret visit to the fair. It was always his favourite day of the year. The only person who might know where he lives is Faye Bibble, the florist. I remember her telling me once that Yash occasionally buys flowers from her to put on his wife's grave. She'll probably have a stall at the fair today. She enjoys her little question and answer game with people who buy blue orchids from her. Okay, right. So there's a few clues here. So, blue orchids. Let's write that down. Then her name is Faye Bibble, the florist. Okay, so I'm just writing that down. Not the Bible. Don't autocorrect me. It's Bibble. All right. Turn to 164. Okay. Like I said, I was supposed to be going out today. But once again, I got, messed around. So for all you kids watching and hoping, internet dating sucks. Okay. Ahead you see a crowd of people hurrying to get to the fair, which you can hear is already buzzing with activity. You follow them into the town square where you see jugglers, storytellers, minstrels entertaining people, smiling merchants selling cloth, jewelry, weapons. I'm abbreviating some of this. While food vendors are busy preparing hog roast, bubbling soup. There are colourful tents at the back to add to the excitement. Suddenly you hear a roar and see a young man carried out of the square on a canvas stretcher. He's out cold. Somebody pours a bucket of water over his face and he wakes up rubbing his cheek, looking confused. You stroll over to find out what happened and come face to face with an enormous bald ogre with two rotting fangs protruding from his bottom jaw. He glares down at you and says, "Are you next?" To which the crowd starts chanting, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." A scraggy-haired man in a bright orange waistcoat and a floppy hat taps you on the shoulder with his cane and says in a loud voice, "My name is Jordan and I'm the Humlock's manager. It's 1 gold piece to enter the face-slapping contest. If you knock him out, you'll win 5 gold pieces and a special prize. You saw what happened to the last challenger, but I'm sure you can do better. What do you say?" I think I'm going to have to accept this. And by the way, there's a picture of this. There's a picture of this thing. There he is. And here's his buddy. Yeah. So this is going to be a kind of a combat situation. So we're going to accept the challenge. Going to turn to 94. Got the potential to win 5 gold pieces and a special prize. All right, let's see. I'll forget how the combat works with this, but the crowd cheers when they hear you accept the challenge and throw their hats into the air with excitement. After paying his manager 1 gold piece, so I'm now down to 21. You are told to stand opposite the ogre. You stare at each other intently, both trying to intimidate the other. Jorgen spins a coin in the air and asks you to call out heads or tails. I'm going to call tails. 265. So 265 it is. If at any point anyone watching wants to contribute into the chat, feel free if you want to try and influence my decisions. You watch the coin spin through the air and it lands on the ground. It bounces before coming to a rest. Heads, Jordan shouts with gusto. Your guess was wrong. Lose 1 luck point. Shit. So my luck's gone down to 6. Okay. He points at the ogre and says, "You shall slap first." He turns to you and says, "Contestant, place your hands behind the back and present your face to be walloped." As you get into position, the ogre snorts and spits on the floor and looks at you with contempt. He pulls his arm back and swings it as hard as he can to land a vicious blow against your face with his huge hand. Roll 2 dice. Okay, so we're in a dice rolling situation. Just going to put my dice app over here. Now, I seem to have there was a way of rolling like multiples, but I don't seem to be able to do that here, and I'm not quite sure why. So I guess I'm going to roll 1d6 after another. It's very annoying, but there we go. So here's the die rolling app. Okay, first d6 is a 4. Second one, a 2. So that's a total of 6. If the total roll is 2 to 6, turn to 1, 5, 6. I've got a feeling I'm about to be knocked out here. Because I think low is probably bad. But let's see. The ogre makes a sickening thwack as it lands painfully against your cheek. Your legs buckle underneath you, and your eyes glaze over. There's nothing you can do to stop yourself from falling. You're knocked out cold. You lose 4 stamina points. You realise you've lost the contest and walk off in a daze. Oh, fucking brilliant. Turn to 252. Well, that was crap, wasn't it? And my stamina is currently then at 12. I forget. I know I can regain stamina by eating a meal. I think. Let me have a look. Your score will change a lot as you need a goal. Start the game. You may only eat 1 meal at a time. When you have a meal, add 4 stamina points score and reduce your provisions by 1. Well, I'm gonna have a meal now. Nothing to stop me from doing that. So I'm at, I'm in a place. I'm not in a combat situation. So I'm going to stop and have a meal before I regain my footing, having embarrassed myself at that game. So I'm going to put my stamina back up to 16 again, and I've got 9 meals left. Okay. You look around to see if there's anybody at the fair who stands out from the crowd that might be able to tell you where Marek Omyash lives, but you realise it's pointless. So I've got a number of options here. Watch the entertainers and the sideshows. Look at the vendors' stalls. Walk over to the tents. Well, I'm going to look at the stalls and see if I can find this florist. So that's 317. The first stall that you come to belongs to a man called Honest John. That sounds dubious already. He's wearing a feathered cap and a long sleeve tunic over frayed linen. He boasts that his medicines will prevent or cure any disease or illness and asks you to look at his slate. Drink or apply as instructed on the label. So he's got bat barn, frog spittle, swamp juice, green slime, snake oil, spider oil, fever-free tonic, wheelie water, dragon's tears, goblin earwax, orc snottle, and cockroach cream. The man soon loses patience, waiting for you to buy something. Make your mind up. I haven't got all day. There's customers behind you. If you want to buy 1 or more medicines from Honest John, deduct the gold pieces. Okay, well, I'm not buying anything. I go to the next stall, 209. Sounds a bit rubbish. So, not really sure why I should fork out for that. Guess I can take my dice app down now for the moment. So, go to 209. Okay, 209. What we got? The next stall is piled high with brass and iron keys and locks. A jovial-looking man with dark hair, parted in the middle and wearing a light brown tunic over a patterned shirt, is sitting on a stool behind the table trying to open a brass lock with a pick lock. As you walk past, you start singing a jolly rhyming melody without a care in the world. I like gold keys, pickles and cheese. I like gold keys and beans and peas. I like gold keys and bumblebees. I like gold keys and old oak trees. If you have a gold key and you'd like to sell it to the singing salesman, have I picked up a gold key? I've got a medallion with a dragon's head and a lucky charm that enables me to forego a luck roll, which I haven't used yet. I don't have a gold key, so I guess I'm going on to the next stall, 119. Feel like I'm not getting very far here with the information, but let's see. The next stall is a colourful flower stall. Finally, okay, this is the lady in question, 119. She sells beautiful sunflowers, lotus flowers, and blue orchids. There are also some exotic-looking plants. The wood says Faye's Flowers. This is the lady. We're looking for Faye Bibble. If you want to wait for there's a chair behind the stall with a note pinned on it which says back in 10 minutes. If you want to wait for her to return, if you'd rather walk, I'm going to wait. 308. Because I need to speak to this woman. This is the person I'm looking for, so I'm definitely going to wait. You watch people come and go with nobody bothering to wait for the florist to return. Finally, you see a lady approaching, wearing a headscarf and a white apron over her green dress. Sounds like my friend Melissa. She's carrying an empty wicker basket. You watch her walk behind the flower stall and put her basket down to the ground. She turns to you and says, "Hello, I'm Faye Bibble. Sorry to keep you waiting. I had to deliver a bouquet of flowers. Are there any flowers you're looking for particularly? Here's my price list if it helps." She hands you a piece of paper. The blue orchids cost 4. Well, I'm going to buy a blue orchid because that's what I was advised to do. 363. That was 308. So we're just going to go 363. After you hand the florist 4 gold pieces, she carefully wraps the blue orchids. So I guess I've just bought some blue orchids, so I better write those on my character sheet. By the way, I like to play a little game with my customers who buy my blue orchids. You can ask me any question you like, and if I know the answer, I will tell you. Do you want to ask me a question? If you want to ask Faye if she knows Binny Brogan, turned 47, if you want to ask her if she knows where Marek Omyash lives, if you want to decline her offer, well, I'll ask her the Marek Omyash 185. If I see Binny Brogan, by the way, I'm taking my gold coin back. The florist's eyes widen on hearing the question. Marek Omyash, blow me down if I haven't just delivered a bouquet of sunflowers to him. Whenever there's a full moon, he takes the sunflowers to the graveyard just outside of town, lays them on the grave of his poor wife who died last year. Poisoned she was, awful it was. They never caught who did it. I really shouldn't be telling you where Marek lives, but I promised I would answer your question. I'm true to my word. There's a tiny house inside a walled yard down Dead End Alley off of Hill Street. Right, so better write that down. Hill Street. Dead End Alley. I forget why I'm looking for this guy. My memory is not very good, guys. So, and this is section 185 I'm on now. So, 185. You'll see the alley next to the clockmakers on Hill Street. Walk down it, and when you come to the end, you'll see a wooden ladder leaning against the wall. Climb up it and over the wall into the yard. That's where you'll find Marek's house. Don't tell him I told you. You thank Faye for the information. Thank you, Faye. And walk on, 141. Okay. All right. Is there anything else to be gained from this fair? I think probably not. There are 2 bearded dwarves with their sleeves rolled up and arms folded standing behind a handcart, which they're using as a stall. There's a large wooden barrel on the cart, filled to the brim with sawdust. A sign nailed to the barrel says, "Lucky dip, 1 gold piece." If you want to take your chances at the lucky dip, turn to 342. If you've not done so already, you can check out the tents. look at the entertainers, or alternatively, you can leave the fair via Brass Street. This is 141. What do you reckon, people? Should I do the lucky dip? What do we think? I don't know. I quite like the idea of doing a lucky dip, but sounds a bit. I have a feeling I'll get something that's really crap. So we'll see. By the way, on the subject of gaming, some friends of mine right now are playing a historical war game. I'm sure they won't mind if I flash the photo of the main layout. It's very impressive. I can't find it now. Hang on. I've committed, so I'm gonna show you. Oh yes, here we are. This is a game at Duncan's house. And this is his table. Look at that. Don't know if you can see that. It's a kind of a town. I think this is World War II Western Front, 28mm. Very nice. Wish I was playing a game like that today. Instead, I'm doing Fighting Fantasy Online. Oh dear. You can see the irony, perhaps. Right, okay, so yeah, sod it. I'll go for the lucky dip. 342. Have a feeling it's going to be a con, but you never know. I've still got a fair number of gold pieces. That puts me down to 21. 342. Okay, here we go. 342, lucky dip. Now I'm probably going to have to test my luck. I might use my lucky charm to win something decent. One of the dwarfs puts the gold piece in his pocket while the other one invites you to plunge your arm into the barrel and pull out one of the boxes. Rummaging around in the sawdust, you find several boxes, but it's impossible to tell what's inside. You decide to pull out a box at random. Okay, right. Well, I've got to roll a d6. What a surprise! And there's no way of me influencing it. It's purely random. So let's see what we get. I have rolled a 6. I'm hoping that's lucky because it's high. If you roll 5 or 6, turn to 260. Okay. 260. Let's see what we get. 260. The dwarves watch as you open the box to find a small jug with a ceramic black fly at the bottom. You feel like giving it back to them, but place it in your backpack in case it might come in useful. We hope you're pleased with your jug, one of them says encouragingly. Unfortunately, the bug jug brings bad luck to its owner. Lose 2 luck points. Well, why do I have to hang on to it? If you want to pay 1 gold piece to have another go, if not, and you've not done so already, you may walk over to the tents. Okay, do you know what? I will have another go. But obviously, I'm not going to pick out the same thing. So if it's a... Oh, I managed to do 2 then. That was... How did I do that? Oh, I see. I click on it down there. Double click down there. Okay. Let's clear that. 1. Roll again. I'm going to re-roll that because that same item would no longer be there. 4. Okay. So I'm going back to 342. My luck has been reduced to 4 from its original 7. That's bad. 358. I reckon this stall's a con, you know. I reckon it's all crap, but let's have a look. The dwarves watch as you open a box to find a silver ring with a closed eye etched into its face. You place the ring on your little finger, wondering what the meaning of the symbol is. What you do not know is that it's a ring of cursed confusion. If you lose 2 skill points. What the... Jesus Christ, this is bad. Everything here is bad. I'm not going to play again. I feel like giving them a thump. I'll go and have a look at the tents. 136. Well, that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? So, going to 136. Let's have a look. There are 2 green canvas tents pitched next to each other with wooden signs above the entrances. One is called Ruby the Riddler. Turn to 372 if you want, or if you want to enter the tent named Find the Lady. If you don't want to enter either tent and you've not done so already, you may walk over to the vendor stalls or look at the entertainers and sideshows. Okay, well, I don't want to play a game of Find the Lady. I feel like I'm playing that in real life already. And I don't think Ruby the Riddler is going to tell me anything useful. So I'll go and have a look at the entertainers and sideshows, which is 396. And then I am out of the fair because I think I've explored everything. 396. It's not a lot of, I mean, I got the main mission, so maybe I should have just left. You wander over to jugglers. Magicians, storytellers, and minstrels are entertaining a large crowd of people. In the middle of them all is a mighty, huge, bare-chested barbarian who's about to swallow a sword. You decide to join the circle to get a better view. Test your luck. Right, I'm going to use that charm to... I bet someone's about to try and pick my pocket. I'm going to use the lucky charm to forego the luck roll. So I don't know if that means that I guess it's just worth one go. So I turn to 14 because my luck's really low, so I'm bound to fail the luck roll. While watching the sword swallower, you feel a hand in your pocket and spin round to see a grubby urchin run off shrieking with laughter before disappearing into the crowd. Lose 1 item. At least the pickpocket did not steal any of your gold pieces. Well, you know what? He's taken the lucky charm, which is no longer of any use to me. So there we go. You decide you've seen enough of the entertainers. If you've not done so already, you may either walk over to the tents. No, I'm getting out of here. This fair's a nightmare. 3:30. Nothing useful in this fair. Well, apart from the lady who told me how to find Shah. What's his name? 3:30. There is a grandiose guild hall. Hang on, let me go back. Just check that was correct. The right number. This seems a bit abrupt. 396. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that I went to 14. So I went to 14 first. Just put that in there. Turn to 330. No, I've gone to the right number. Okay, 330. And then 330. Looks like I'm about to have a bit of a dust up, people. Look at these unsavory characters. Let me take the dice off for a second. Another nice piece of artwork there by Mike McCarthy, I think his name was. Okay. There is a grandiose guild hall with whitewashed stone and leaden windows on the left side of Brass Street, and a row of small workshops on the right-hand side with blacksmiths, carpenters, potters, cobblers, and stonemasons all busy at their workbenches. You do not stop but hurry down the street past the guild hall and workshops without warning. 3 unsavory-looking characters wielding wooden clubs jump out in front of you from behind some large barrels. They are trolls. Warty-skinned thugs wearing leather armor over their grubby tunics. They're all sporting a gold earring and a gold necklace. One steps forward. Stop right there. My name's Bonehead, and this is my brother Toady, and on my left is my brother Weasel. We're the Snark Brothers. We mug people. That's what we do, plain and simple. We don't want no trouble. We're not greedy. We just want gold pieces. If you know what's good for us, you'll give your gold, and you can be on your way. Sod that. I'm not giving you my money. Turn to 51. Right, okay. Time for a punch up. Okay. The 3 brothers wave their clubs in the air and look eager to have a fight. Bonehead looks to the sky and growls before advancing to attack you. You draw your sword and defend yourself against the trolls and fight them one at a time. Okay, so there's 3 of these idiots. My skill currently is down to 10, but my stamina is max, which is good. I forget how the combat works here. Let me just, I think I've got to roll 2d6. But I just need to refresh my memory. Roll 2 dice for your enemy and add the total to its skill score. This is your enemy's attack strength. Roll 2 dice for yourself and add that to your current skill. That's your attack strength. Whose attack strength is higher? You've wounded you. If you're higher, you've wounded your enemy. Subtract 2 from your enemy's thing. If the enemy's wounded you, subtract 2, and then I guess you repeat until make appropriate changes. This continues until this. Yeah, okay, all right, I got it. All right, so my skill is 10. My enemy's skill is 8, and he's got stamina of 6, and I've got 16. So we're into a die rolling situation. So let's get the die rolling up again. Time for combat. I'll show these trolls what's what. Hopefully I'm going to pick up some good stuff if I beat them. Okay, so I'm doing 2d6. This is for the bad guy, and I'm adding 8 to this. So he's got 8, so he's got 16 in the first round. And then I am doing 2 for me, and I'm adding 10. I got... I want to see the second one. 3 and... Oh, it's a total of 8. Okay, so 8 plus my 10 is 18. He got 16, so he is injured, and his stamina is reduced to 4. Let me just double check that again quickly. You've wounded your enemy. You subtract 2 from its stamina score. Right, okay. Second round of combat then. So he's down to 4. So his roll. Oh, sorry. Let's re-roll that. My bad. Right. His roll is 4. So plus his skill, that brings it to 12. My roll plus 10 to this. Oh, for God's sake, why does it keep doing that? 8. Right. Yeah. Thank you. So 18. So I won that round as well. So he's down to 2. Okay. Third round of combat. His roll plus 8 is that? I can't see. What is that? Is that an 8? I think it's an 8. Can't see. I hate it when it does this, man. I'm going to re-roll that because I couldn't really see what was. I think it was a 9, but I don't really know. Let's do it again. What is it? Oh, for God's sake, that was wrong. Sorry. Why does it roll the dice behind this thing? Look, what is this? 11. 6 and 5. Okay. All right. So he's got 19 on this round, which I think he rolled way lower than that before. I need 2 dice. Sorry. My round plus 10 is 17. I got 7. So he won that round of combat. So I've lost 2 stamina. I'm down to 14. He's at 2. Okay. I'm sure I would have won that originally, but never mind. I said re-roll, so we'll stick with it. Right. So fourth round of combat. He's rolled a 7. I've rolled a 4. So 14. It's 14. It's a tie. So on a tie, what happens? If both are the same, you have both missed. Oh, okay. All right. So we're fighting again. Okay, this is his roll. 7. So plus 8 is 15. My brain. What's going on with that? Oh, no. Two dice. My roll is 6. Plus 10 is 16. I have killed Bonehead. Bonehead is dead. Okay. So I'm on to fighting the second guy now. This is going to go on for a while. So, if you need to make some tea. Toady has only got skill of 6 and stamina of 5. So he's not as good. Okay. So his die roll is a 7 plus 6 is 13. Oh, sorry. Re-roll that because it's 2. My die roll is a 6 plus 10 is 16. So he's only got stamina of 5. He's down to 3. Second round of combat with Toady. His second roll is 7. And my second roll is 8. Again, I've won. He's down to 1. Okay. Third round of combat with Toady. He's rolled a 3. Oh dear, I think he's going to be dead. And yeah, actually, even if I roll double 1, I still win. Yeah, he's dead. Okay, so I've killed Toady. We're on to Weasel. Try and rob me, would you? First round of combat. He's got skill of 7. So that's a pretty good roll for him. That's 9. He's on 16. So I've got to roll 6 or higher, 7 or higher to win. 6 or higher to equal. I rolled a 9. I've injured him. He's only got stamina of 4. He's down to 2. Second round of combat with Weasel. He's rolled a 3. Oh dear. If I beat him this round, he's dead. He is. I have killed all 3 of them. Turn to 3, 6, 7. That'll teach the bloody trolls. Right. Quite pleased with that result. That's a bit better. First good thing that's happened. An upstairs window of a rickety old house opens and an old man leans out. What's going on down there? If you want to reply that you were defending yourself against trolls who attacked you, turn to 147. If you want to ignore the old man and grab the troll's necklaces and make your getaway, turn to 123. No, I'm justly defending myself. 148. The old man shakes a fist. You did well to deal with those thugs. There's always a lot of thieves about when the fair comes to town. Good riddance. You watch him close the window and disappear. You reach down to take the troll's gold necklaces and you hurry up the street before anybody arrives to start asking questions. Turn to 386. So that was 148 and then 386. Right, so I guess I've got 3 gold necklaces. It's not really giving me an inventory here, but there were 3 of them, so 386. Okay. And I'm looking for Hill Street. Hill Street Blues. See what I did there? Right, okay, so just on my items. Hey, Darth Plater, how's it going? 3 gold necklaces. I am playing part 2 of my Hill Giants peoples. This is an impromptu stream, Darth. It wasn't originally on my schedule. But I was supposed to be meeting a lady for lunch today, but she has stood me up, so it's not happening. Okay, so if you want to, I'm at the Brass Street, ends in a crossroads. If I want to turn into Pudding Lane, that's where the Fire of London started, wasn't it? Turn to 285. If you want to turn into Brick Lane, or if you want to continue ahead into Copper Street. Well, I'm looking for Hill Street, but none of these are the right way. That's annoying. So I've got 3 choices here. Brick Lane, straight ahead, Copper Street. I think I'll go straight ahead for the moment. 98. I'm going to make a note in case I want to backtrack. So I'm going on 98. But if I want to backtrack and go to Brick Lane, it's 10. And 285 for Pudding Lane. Okay. All right. We will continue ahead into Copper Street 98. We're going to. I need to pop that number in there. There are several jewellery shops. Oh, that might be handy. Maybe I can sell the gold necklaces in Copper Street with people looking through iron grille windows at colourful gemstones on display. One of the jewellers is called Hidden Gems, that has a sign in the window that says gems bought and sold. If you want to go into the shop, turn to 87. I think I will, because I'll see if I can sell these necklaces. You enter a small shop with walls almost entirely covered with mirrors. At the back, there's a counter with a thick glass top and a frame made out of large animal bones. Standing behind the counter is a tall elf who is wearing a long silver tunic with a high collar. He watches you carefully with his piercing blue eyes. Welcome, my friend. Have you come here to buy or sell? Today I'm buying rubies and selling emeralds, he says in a calm voice. If you want to sell a ruby, turn to 275. If you want to buy an emerald, turn to 373. If you want to leave the jewellers, turn to 158. Well, I don't know what the jewelled necklaces contain because it hasn't told me, but I'm going to try and sell one of them as a ruby, so let's see what happens. 275. The elf looks delighted. Please place your ruby on the tray at the top of the counter. You do as he says and watch him pick up the ruby and examine it closely through the magnifying glass. I'm sorry to tell you, but this ruby is fake. It's coloured glass and virtually worthless. The most I could offer would be 2 copper pieces. If you want to sell it to him, turn to 33. If you have not done so already, you may release his offer and ask to buy an emerald. Or you can go down. Nah, sod this. There's nothing to be gained here. I'm not buying anything. 158. So, I mean, I suspect that ruby was probably probably one of the things you could have got from the bucket. You walk along Copper Street to where it ends at a crossroads. Turning left would take you into Pudding Lane. Turning right would take you into Brick Lane. Both choices will lead you back towards the town square. So you decide to cross into Silver Street. Okay, I'm still looking for Hill Street. 213. You see several mystic-looking characters in colourful robes chatting in the street. One of them is an old man with a pointed silver grey beard. Gandalf! He is wearing a long blue cloak. He does look a bit like Gandalf, because there's a picture here which has a high, stiff collar. When he sees you, he leaves his friends and walks towards you, carrying a swag bag over his shoulder. When he gets close, he nods politely, and without saying a word, reaches out to hand you a shiny brass lamp with a long spout. If you want to take the lamp, or would you rather refuse his gift? I don't know. This. Would you accept a lamp from this man? There you go. Would you accept a lamp from this man? I'm not sure that I should. Feels like it might be some sort of setup. I mean, unfortunately, one of the options isn't what happens if I take the lamp. You know, you can't ask him that question, which is what I would do in this kind of situation. So yeah, I'm gonna not take the gift, and we'll because you know nothing good has come. Further up the street, you see a shop on your right. So we've gone to 376. Nothing good's ever come from taking stuff for free in these games. You look in the window and see that the only item on display... further up the street on your right is a shop called The Illusionist. The only item on display is a wand resting on a red velvet cushion. It reminds you of the wand you once saw when you visited the tower of the Grand Wizard of the Darkwood Forest. If you want to enter the shop, turn to 261. I think I will. 261. Don't have to buy anything, do I? Can always just go and have a look. Just looking, just browsing. Thank you. When you walk through the shop entrance, you hear a high-pitched cackling laugh and see it's coming from a dancing clown puppet in a glass cabinet near the door. The walls of the shop are decorated with colourful swirling patterns. At the back of the shop, there's a glass counter filled with vials, stopped jars, amulets, bracelets, rings, and scrolls. And at the centre of a marble statue of a wizard who is holding a staff in one hand and a scroll in the other. Behind the counter, there's a gold-stained curtain drawn across the doorway. Suddenly, it's pulled to one side by a thin hand covered in angry sores. A grey-skinned man with sunken eyes, rotting flesh, shuffles through the doorway. His clothing is torn and blood-stained. And you see there's a huge open wound in his abdomen, which is crawling with maggots. There is no mistaking the zombie which stands before you. If you want to attack the undead creature with your sword, turn to 56. If you want to leave the shop immediately, turn to 390. There's a picture of this guy. I think I'll attack, because then I can search the shop. 56. You draw your sword and advance towards the zombie, who in a puff of white smoke suddenly transforms into a tall man with sweat black hair and a goatee beard. He's wearing a long dark coat with baggy sleeves and a crisp white shirt. Makes me laugh how people fall for my zombie illusion trick. Don't they ever read the name of my shop? Welcome, stranger. I sell all things magical, including my famous Ring of the Zombies, which I demonstrated for you. Just tap it twice and hey presto, you look like a zombie. Here's a list of magical items I have in stock. You'll appreciate these items are of exceptional quality, but I must warn you that they can only be used once. Would you like to buy anything? Right, there's a potion of healing, which I will definitely buy, because I feel that could be good. That's 1 gold piece. Let me write down all the things I'm going to get, because I'm going to get a couple of potion of healing. Ring of Zombies is 4 gold pieces. Ring of Fire, Ring of Mind Control, Ring of Light. I think I'm gonna buy Ring of Fire, and I think I'm gonna buy Ring of Mind Control. Don't know if any of these will come of any use. So that's 3 gold pieces and 4 gold pieces and 1 for the potion. That's 8. I'm going to buy a potion of healing, a potion of wisdom. So that's another. So that's 9 I've spent. Potion of wisdom. If only I had that. Back in 2015 when I met those arseholes. That would have been a very useful potion to have at the time. Potion of wisdom. So, okay. All right. So I have lost, deducted down to 11 gold pieces. Oh, my stash of gold is diminishing. Better find some more gold pieces. 390. Okay, so we're going to 390. We still haven't found the bloody street yet. Outside, some of the locals are looking in shop windows whilst others are standing happily chatting. Nobody seems interested in you when you leave the illusionist and walk up the street. Turn to 202. Okay. Oh, hang on. I just wrote that number, and I just almost had 2,000 gold pieces there. Right, 202. There we go. 202. Let's have a look. You see another shop a little further up Silver Street, and the window is dirty and the goods on display are dusty and old and look to have been there for years. If you want to go into the junk shop, turn to 19. If you want to keep walking up the street, go to 278. I think I will go in the junk shop. Why not? Might as well check out everything. You enter the dingy shop, low ceiling. It's got leather books, armor, weapons, blah, blah, lots of stuff. A bespectacled, partly bald gnome wearing a brown apron over his shirt is sitting on a high-back stool behind a bench at the back of the shop. He's busy repairing a broken hay fork. Peers over the top of his wire-rimmed glasses when you enter. Have a look around. If there's anything that takes your fancy, let me know. You rummage through the boxes and barrels and scan the shelves. The items which interest you are a helmet, a warhammer, and a sword with an etching of a serpent on the blade. The gnome puts down the hay fork and says, You appear to have a good eye for quality, but quality comes at a price. The helmet is a bargain at 5 gold pieces, the warhammer's priced at 10, and the sword will cost you another 10, plus your own sword in part exchange. Now, if I buy that sword, it will only leave me with 1 gold piece. But I have a feeling that sword is good. I'm going to buy the sword. 361 I've got to turn to. You give the gnome your sword and 10 gold pieces. I'm now down to 1 gold piece. That's not a lot of money. It tells you reassuringly that you've made an excellent purchase and explains that a serpent sword is the perfect weapon for fighting snake-headed creatures. Add 1 luck point. Hooray! So my luck has gone back up to 5. And I now possess a serpent sword. I had a fire sword, which was pretty cool. Well, never mind. Now I've got a serpent sword. Okay. Well, at least it improved my luck 1. I guess that's something. I'm not buying anything else. Turn to 278. You leave the shop. 278. Well, there's no point me going in any more shops. I've got these 3 gold necklaces. I want to get some money for those. Doesn't seem... Silver Street ends in 2 narrow alleyways. One is Blind Alley, and then one is Back Alley. But I'm looking for Hill Street. Oh, if you want to cross over to Hill Street, turn to 259. I do. 259. Hill Street is where it's at. Hill Street Blues. So, Hill Street has an incline. Yeah, well, I wonder how it got that name. 259. Which is quite noticeable as you walk up it. Ahead, you can see a horse and a cart nearing the top of the hill, and 2 men are unloading barrels outside a tavern. When they finished unloading, one of them leads the horse over to a water trough for a drink. Something spooks the horse, and it kicks out its hind legs, hitting one of the barrels. It topples over, knocking over others, and they all begin to roll down the hill. There is nowhere to take refuge, and you'll have to try and sidestep them. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is less than or equal to your skill score, turn to 23. Okay, so I've got to do a skill roll. Now, my skill score is currently 10. So there's a pretty good chance I should be able to roll underneath this. He says, hopefully. Here we go. I have rolled under it. 8. I'm guessing that's good. Turn to 23. I feel I should get some compensation from these men. The barrel rolls down the hill towards you, virtually in line, gathering speed. You ready yourself, and when they're almost on top of you, you do a Super Mario and you leap over them. They continue down the hill, crashing. 2 delivery men run past you with a look of despair on their faces. You leave them to sort out their mess and walk on. You see another street called Dead End Alley. On your left, a clockmaker's shop just beyond it. If you want to go to Dead End Alley, which I think I do need to if I remember from my notes. Yes. Or if you want to go to the clockmaker's shop, turn to 397. I'll have a quick look in the clock. I haven't got any money, but I'll have a quick look in the shop anyway. Okay, you go in, there's a guy, there's some clocks. He's trying to fix a clock that's losing 5 minutes a day. You can ask him about Maricom Yash and where he might live, or if he has any spare keys to sell. Well, I already know where Marek lives, but I'll ask him anyway. I haven't got any keys, money to buy keys. Clockmaker looks, what business do you have with Marek or Mash? If you want to reply, you seek his help to defeat the Iron Giants. Yeah, I guess I'll put that. 133. What Iron Giants? The Clockmaker asks, frowning. You tell the story. Clockmaker looks shocked. That's a terrifying tale. I wasn't going to tell you where Marish lives, but I will now. Yeah, and he tells me the same details the woman did. Good luck. Right, so I didn't even need to go to the fair and lose all my stuff or whatever, lose points and things. I could have just eventually got here, and this guy would have told me, you hurry down Dead End Alley to where it ends in a high wall. There's the ladder. If you wish to climb up the ladder, if you'd rather go back, I'll climb up the ladder. So, all right, sorry. So we've gone 263. God's sake. 263. And then we go 208. Okay, I'm keeping the die rolling app up for the moment because I just might need it again. 208. 208. You reach the top of the ladder, you see another ladder on the other side of the wall. Small house in the cobblestones surrounded by high brick walls. The yard is filled with rubbish and rats scurrying about in search of food. There does not appear to be any other way of accessing the house other than climbing over the wall. House is a single-story building with a low timber roof and a large oak door. If you want to climb over the wall and knock on the door, turn to 309 if you would rather go back. Oh, I'm going in. 309. 309. Okay, so when you climb down the ladder and walk towards the house, you inadvertently kick a bottle which spins noisily over the cobblestones. The front door of the house bursts open and a man wearing a hooded cloak runs out, brandishing a sword. You cannot see his eyes, but it's obvious he's very angry. Trespasser, you have 10 seconds to tell me why you're here, or else draw your sword and ready yourself for combat. So, there's a picture of him. He looks very Aragornish. Just gonna show you guys. Very Aragorn, if they arrive. Another great picture there from the artist Mike McCarthy, I think his name was. Now, I've got 4 options here. Listen to these. Attack him with your sword. Tell him Harold Hoggett told you to come. Tell him Binny Brogan told you to come. Tell him you are a friend who needs help. Well, Binny Brogan seems to be some kind of scam artist. So I might go with the Harold Hoggett option. Tell him you're a friend who needs his help. I mean, I could just say that. I can't remember who gave me the info on where he lived. It was the woman, but then somebody pointed me to Mrs. Biddle. Binny Brogan didn't tell me. Let's go 169 then. I'll say I'm a friend, but I reserve the option to right, hold on a second. 273. Right. Any friend of Harold Hoggett is you extend your hand towards the man in the hooded cloak and say, Marikom Yash, I presume. Harold says hello. He pulls his hood back and shakes your hand, saying, any friend of Harold Hoggett is a friend of mine. How do you know Harold? If you are wearing a silver medallion with a dragon's head etched into it, which I think I have. Yes, medallion with dragon's head. Turn to 64. Right, so I do. So we're going 273. 64. Yeah, I just saw that, the medallion with the dragon's head, and it was Harold that then sent me to the florist, who then sent me here. I just remembered. So 253, 273. Oh no, and then we're going to. I do have the medallion, so that's 64. I expected Marikom Ash to be some kind of like fatherly wizard type. I didn't think he'd be an Aragorn type, I have to say, but that's all good. 64. You lift the medallion above your shirt collar. Marek grins and unbuttons his cloak to reveal an identical medallion around his neck. He slaps you on the back and says, you better come in and tell me your story. Harold knew that since Velma died, I've stopped seeing people, so it must be something important, or else he would never have told you to come here. You follow Marek inside his house and sit down opposite him at the table, on which there is a bouquet of sunflowers. You take the crown out of your backpack and place it in front of him. What is that? He asks. You explain that it is all that's left of the crown of chaos after the warriors on the rim jumped off and rose as iron giants. He listens intently as you tell him about the fateful events that took place outside of Firetop Mountain and how, in his dying breath, Higgly told you to find Marek, who could tell you how to defeat the iron giants. Marek looks at you aghast and says, I never thought the day would come when the iron giants would rise. The crown of chaos belonged to Zagor, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. He kept it in a secret place with a plan to unleash the giants from raw Alancia once he had developed a spell to control them. He never did, and the crown remained hidden inside Firetop Mountain until you found it. Oh dear. Toppling the iron giants will be virtually impossible unless you have rust beetles to weaken them. Their saliva can eat through iron, enough for you to be able to sever a giant's limb with your sword. Rust beetles look like scarab beetles, only they're fluorescent red in color. The only place where they have been found is in the Gorgon's tomb in the Moonstone Hills, but that was years ago. Rumor has it she is dead. A Gorgon, oh dear. But nobody really knows. You should leave now. I must visit my wife's grave later today, but I will catch up with you tomorrow. If you want to ask Malik if he can tell you anything else about the Gorgon's tomb, turn to 316, or if you'd rather set off for the Moonstone Hills immediately. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be rude because he's got to go and visit his wife. But at the same time, I came a long way. So answer one more question, if you please. Marek taps his forehead and says, forgive me, I should have told you where to find the Gorgon's tomb. Yes, that would be helpful. Thank you. So we're on 316 now. Let's pop that in here. Walk due south from Hamelin into the Moonstone Hills and look for the Coda Stone. It's a standing stone which looks like a huge column of rock. Ancient warriors placed it in front of two caves entrances centuries ago. So look for the Coda Stone. Okay, hold on. I'm going to write this down. Coda Stone. Delete those numbers. I don't remember. It's a standing stock. It's a huge column of rock. Ancient warriors placed in front of two caves entrances. One of the caves leads to the Gorgon's tomb, but I don't know which one. I was told that the shadow cast mid-afternoon by the standing stone will line with one of the cave entrances. You should enter that cave. Mid-afternoon shadow. Okay. Very specific, but we'll take the information. See where it takes us. So Right. So, but beware, even if the Gorgon is dead, the deadly traps in the tunnels leading to her tomb might still be set, and some of her guardians and minions are probably still alive. Or always have your sword at the ready. You should leave Hamlin by the eastern gate and head south. I will join you tomorrow. You bid him farewell. Okay, so eastern gate, head south, 222. Yeah, because I do have a map. Oh, did I take a picture of this map? And maybe we can put it up on screen. Let's have a look. I can't remember if I did, but I might have done. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. That's just the background. I need to share it. I must have it on my computer somewhere. Let's see if I can, because we're going to need this now. Let's put in shadow. Giants, shadow giants map. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. All right. So I've got this photo I took of the map. I'm gonna share that, and we'll have that on screen so that you can look at something else other than my aging face. Right. There we go. So we're going to the Moonstone Hills, which is here. We're currently in Hamelin. So yeah, Eastern Gate and then turn south. So it's not that far away. It's pretty close. Salamonis is a city that I've got a game for, which I think I'm probably going to play. I don't know if I'm going to play it next, but it will be the next Fighting Fantasy one I probably play. Unless my Freeway fighter book, arrives tomorrow. Okay, all right, here we go. 222. You feel very fortunate to have met Marikom Yash. Add 2 luck points. Hey, now we're talking. So my luck points have now gone up to. They're back to my original score of 7. Well, I don't know if that was my original. I think it just goes up and down, doesn't it? So, you hurry down Dead End Alley and turn left at the Clockmakers before walking up Hill Street. Turn to 103. Okay, 103. When you get to the top of Hill Street, you see it continues downhill all the way to a gated stone archway which leads out of town. Most of the houses you see are in a poor state of repair. The door opens to a house with a small, dirty windows on the right-hand side of the street. An old lady appears at the doorway, hunched over her walking stick. She's wearing a black scarf over her head and an old cardigan which is riddled with moth holes. As you walk past, she taps her with your walking stick. Would you help an old lady move a cupboard? I'll give you a nice bowl of carrot soup for your trouble. Oh man, do I want to help the old lady? I don't know. I'm kind of in a hurry here. I've got to destroy these giants, but I don't know. This feels like it might be a trap. Do we want to do this? Nah. Let's go. Keep going. 59. Feel like it. I don't feel like this is a viable thing. There's a small group of people at the end of the street who are heckling a long-haired man who's standing on a barrel. He has a weather-beaten face with a long beard and a moustache, and a toothpick sticking out the corner of his mouth. He's wearing animal skins and carries a long bow. He's shouting at the crowd, trying to warn them that Hamelin is going to be attacked by iron giants. He looks exasperated and pleads with the crowd to listen, but the onlookers heckle him even more. If you want to speak to the man, turn to 190. I think I should. There's a picture of him. There he is. Yeah, I'll speak to him. So, I don't think I've been recording the numbers here. Let me do that. Keep doing that. Let's get back on the comments. So we've done 59. I think I might have missed out a couple. And we're now going to 190. Oh, 190. What's wrong with my keyboard? Okay, so 190. You move through the crowd to get closer to the man. Listen to me, you fools. I've seen the Iron Giants with my own eyes. They're as tall as trees and cruel as demons. They've destroyed Stonebridge and they're on their way here. The onlookers look at the man whose face is turning red out of frustration. Test your luck. Okay, 2 dice. Let me guess, I'm going to get pickpocketed again. Double 6? But that's not good. I'm unlucky. 165. While listening to the man speak, you do not notice an unseen hand slip into your backpack. Roll 1 dice to determine the number of items which are stolen from you by the thief. Eventually he stomps off and I've got the option of talking to him or not. So, okay, so the number of items that have been stolen are 4. Bloody hell. Well, I'll lose the 3 gold necklaces and the blue orchids. Thanks very much. See you later. Okay, turn to 83. I went 165 after that crap die roll. Turn to 83. Now, is there something about when you test your luck, if you fail, don't you have to like reduce your luck score? Your luck score will change during the adventure, blah blah blah. Or an even spell might reduce. Drinking the potion of luck will restore your luck to its initial level. Okay. No, yeah, but various times you lose your luck. Test your luck. If you've been lucky, the number is rolled is higher. If you've been lucky, if you've been, the consequences of being lucky or unlucky will be found in the paragraph you're sent to. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 point from your luck score. Right, yeah, so I've got my luck's down to 6 now. Okay. Right, so I go and talk to the guy, 83, finally. You tap the man on the shoulder and tell him you believe his story about the Iron Giants. I'm glad somebody believes me, he says, calming down. I know I exaggerate when I talk about my adventures, but not today. I watched the 4 Iron Giants flatten Stonebridge, and now they're headed this way, destroying everything in their path. I rode here as soon as I could to warn everybody. These fools are going to be sorry they didn't listen to me. My name's William Honk. His name's William Honk. But you can call me Goose. Okay, well, you can call me Maverick in that case. Most of my friends do on account of my surname. It's hard to argue with that, and that's fine with me. I'm a ranger with a long bow and a long nose, hence the surname Honk, I guess. I've been hunting and fishing and tracking my whole life. What's your story? If you want to tell the ranger about your quest to take down the Iron Giants, turn to 249. Well, I might as well. Maybe he'll come with me. 249. You tell him about your quest, blah, 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 rust beetles, blah, 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 moon hills, blah, blah, blah. Let me come with you. I'm the best archer in Alancia. And if you're going to need a ranger like me to help you find the tomb, if you invite Goose to join you on your quest, turn to 253. If you'd rather politely refuse his offer. No, man, he's seems like a decent, he's trying to warn everyone. So, yeah, I'll take him with me. 253, let's do it. Or 353, sorry. Is it 353? 353. Wonderful, my friend. I won't let you down. Shakes your hand. You leave Hamlin and head due south with Goose, talking non-stop about the Iron Giants. Doesn't take you long to reach the rocky foothills. You've hardly begun your climb when suddenly, without warning, a small band of green-skinned creatures come running down the hill towards you with armed with spears. They are no longer They are no more than a meter high and have large heads with long pointed ears. They are pixies, and you are quickly surrounded. We are the pixie bandits. Give us all your gold, he says menacingly. If you want to hand over your gold, I've only got 1 gold piece. Turn to 30. If you want to draw your sword and fight them, too right I do. Bloody annoying creatures. 3, 2, 1. I'm fighting them. So 3, 2, 1. This is like Monty Python. We are the Knights of Ni. Standing side by side with Goose, Maverick draws his sword while he notches an arrow to his bow. The pixies look nervously at each other and suddenly turn back and run up the hill. Add 1 luck point. Result, back up to 7 again. You decide not to waste any time chasing the pixies and carry on south with the incline gradually getting steeper. Ahead, you see many large boulders, which partly conceal a huge, high-backed throne, which has been made from slabs of roughly cut stone. It stands in the middle of a circle of stones, which is filled with pebbles laid out in a symmetrically sunburst pattern. I'm not certain, but that looks like the throne of a stone golem, Goose says, walking around it. They say it gives power to those who dare sit on it. If you want to sit on the throne, turn to 339. If you'd rather keep walking, turn to 11. Oh, that's a choice, isn't it? That's a choice. Do I sit on... Well, they say it gives power. Okay. All right. I'm going to sit on the throne. Why not? Better not turn me to stone. 339. I'm committing here. Better be a good result. You walk slowly across the pebbles and sit down on the enormous stone seat. You feel a warm glow rising through your body, which energizes and pulsates through your body. Add 1 skill point and 3 stamina points. Well, hey, that sounds good to me. So that was a result. Good stuff. Okay. You stand up and walk back across the circle of stones. You inadvertently send one of the pebbles flying with your foot. Test your luck. Oh, for God's sake. Couldn't just like get a benefit and... Oh, hang on. I've got to re-roll that. Sorry. Right. 5. I succeeded. Does your luck go up when you... No, it just goes down, doesn't it? Just goes down. I think it just goes down. Yeah. Yeah, so I've gone... It's now down to 5. Oh, I mean, it's down to 6. 6. Good. It's actually at 7. I thought it was at 6. I forgot it had gone back up. So I am lucky. Turn to 140. Okay. Pebble lands harmlessly on top of other pebbles. You set off feeling full of energy. Turn to 11. Okay, good. You push on the hills with Goose keeping you entertained. The trek is thirsty and tiring work. Lose 2 stamina points. Well, you know what? I'm not going to lose 2 stamina points because I'm going to eat a meal. And I'm going to take my meals down to 8. At one point, Goose gets very excited when he sees a Pegasus high in the sky swoop down over before flying off to the west. The hours pass. It's mid-afternoon. By the time you finally arrive at the entrance to the 2 caves, there's a column of rock at least 4 meters high in front of the caves. You notice the shadow cast by the standing stone column points towards the entrance to the cave on the right. Goose looks at you and says, "Which cave shall we enter?" If you want to enter on the cave on your left, go to 216. Well, I was told to look at the shadow, so I should be going into the right one. So we are... Oh, I forgot. That's 11. And now we're going to enter the cave on your right. Turn to 368. Okay. Let's put the map back up. Although I'm pretty sure I'm going to need combat combat situation again pretty soon. So we are currently in the Moonstone Hills. There's a little blob there. I'm going to see if I can... I wonder if that's supposed to be the... Right there is supposed to be that. I don't know. Anyway. All right. 368. This is going on a fair old time, this adventure. You peer into the gloomy cave and see it has a very high ceiling inside. The air is cool, but it has a stale, musty smell. I have a feeling at this point that my buddy is wearing a red Star Trek vest. I don't know why, but I feel like he is. You see a half-open door at the back of the cave and walk towards it. It's a bit dark in here, says Goose, but not to worry. I brought fire torches with me. He lights a torch, which floods the cave with warm light. He hands a torch to you, and looking up, you see hundreds of bats hanging upside down from the roof of the cave. But these are not ordinary bats. They're vampire bats, which have been woken by the light of the torches. Well done, Goose. The whole colony takes flight, filling the cave with high-pitched screeching. You run towards the door at the back of the cave as fast as you can, trying to fend off the bats with your sword. Roll 2 dice against your skill score. Okay, all right. I'm going to roll 2 dice. I can't be asked to put the thing back up again. Oh, hang on. I rolled 1. That's right. 2 dice. Here we go. I have rolled 6 and 5. I've rolled 11. My current skill score is 11. So I've the same or less than your skill score turned to 115. That was lucky. Only just there. I nearly rolled over it. 115. You've just managed to escape the vampire bats by delving through the doorway and slamming it shut behind you. Relieved not to have been bitten by the bats, you stand off and set down the narrow, twisting tunnel. Turn to 256. I'm assuming that my friend Goose also made it behind the door, but it doesn't actually say. 256. In the gloom of the tunnel, you do not notice a tripwire that spans the width of the passageway at ankle height. You inadvertently trip it and trigger a trap. Test your luck. Shit. Okay, I will show the die roll on this one. Present screen. I have a feeling that this is I'm gonna get killed. Okay, so my luck is currently 6. I need 6 or under. Double 3. I succeeded, and my luck has gone down to 5 because every time you test it, it drops by 1. So if you are lucky, turn to 13, which is normally an unlucky passage. Turn to 13. Oh, I didn't drop that one in. Six darts released from small holes in the tunnel wall, but miraculously none of them hit you. That was a bit too close for comfort, Goose says, exhaling sharply as you walk on. None of them hit him either, I take it. 194. I do feel like he's still got a red Star Trek vest. I'm going to bet money that he's not going to make it out of here alive. 194. It's not long before you arrive at a 4-way junction. Left-hand tunnel, right-hand tunnel, or straight ahead. Right, well... I feel like we should go straight ahead. 286. You enter the new tunnel and keep walking until you come to a wooden lever which is protruding from a slot in the right-hand wall. Beyond the lever, there is a row of dragon heads carved in the stone lining both sides of the tunnel wall. Their mouths are hanging open and plumes of smoke are drifting out of their nostrils. If you want to pull down the lever, turn to 170. If you would rather walk on without touching the lever. What a choice. I guess I could also go back if I wanted. So This is the scene in question. These are the dragons. This is the tunnel. Pull down the lever. I mean, it feels like a trap. It's a trap. But there's also like a there's a crack in the floor. Oh, I don't know. Not liking this. I think I'm going to backtrack because that, you know, it's not listed, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back to 13 and I'm going to try and take a different route. It's back to 256, I think, because 13 is the trap. 256 is the crossroads, I think. No, 256 is also the trap. 1115. No, turn to 256. Turn to 13. Is 13 not the crossroads then? Let's have a look. And you turn to 194. I missed 194. Okay. 194 is probably the junction. I did not put that. I didn't. Yeah. So I've gone back to. I've gone backtracked. To 194, which I forgot to add. Keep option to return to 286 and go back and face the dragons if I have to. I've got a serpent sword, which might be quite good against a Gorgon. Okay, I'm going to take the right-hand tunnel and I'm going to go to 38. You're walking along the tunnel, talking about the Iron Giants, when Goose stops in his tracks and says, "Listen, can you hear that howling?" You cup your ear and you hear faint howls coming from a long way. They get louder and louder. Whoever is making them is clearly coming your way. If you want to run back to the junction and cross over to the tunnel opposite, turn to 236. If you want to run back down the tunnel and turn right at the location, turn to 286. That's the dragons. If you want to stand your ground and face the oncoming creature, turn to 149. I think we will. That's, you know, I've got a fighter with me. I assume he's going to do something and not just be crap. 149. Oh, shit. This thing looks pretty bad. I don't like the look of that, but we decided to stand our ground. 149. Stand your ground. Isn't that like a law in Florida that allows you to kill people that trespass on your property or something? Oh. Right. Tiny bit of a cold today for some. The weather's gone really horrible. Goose notches his bow and you draw your sword in readiness. The spine-chilling screech gets louder and are deafening by the time the hideous creature comes into view. Flying towards you at speed is a screaming demon. A huge ghost-like undead creature which almost fills the passageway with its billowing grey shroud. It has, lots of description. Goose fires off several arrows which fly harmlessly straight through the demon. It suddenly stops less than a meter from you, hovering on the spot, lets out a high-pitched scream which is so painful that you drop to your knees, covering your ears. Goose's face is contorted with pain, but you see he's trying to speak to you. "Earwax," he screams. "Do you have any goblin earwax?" I don't. I've got various other things. I didn't buy that one. Bloody hell. Turn to 345. Is this like our adventure ends here? I have a horrible feeling This is going to be bad. I have a horrible feeling. Oh, okay. No, it's not bad. We're going to have to fight it. The pain in your head is unbearable, and it's all you can do to uncork. Oh, hang on. That's if you've got the goblin earwax. I don't have the goblin earwax. 240. Okay. Hey, Desert. Yeah, that's no worries, man. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I'm doing the second part of the Fighting Fantasy, so you haven't missed a lone wolf. So 240. Yeah, so if I haven't got the goblin earwax, you shake your head and see the anguish on Goose's face. He begins to scream in pain, which only makes the screaming demon screech louder. The pain in your head becomes unbearable. You drop to the floor and pass out. You're mercilessly unconscious when the demon's long tendrils slide into your mouth and drain the life force from your body. Your adventure is over. Right, now. I don't have the goblin earwax. But I might backtrack slightly. Okay, so I died. Fuck's sake. So we're gonna retreat from the howling noise and run over to the tunnel opposite, which is 236. Or do we want to go through the? I think we're going to go back to the dragons, and then I've got to decide whether to pull this bloody lever or not. 286. Okay, pull the lever or don't pull the lever. Pull the lever. 170. Kind of annoyed because I feel like I'm just like I've died really, and I'm just playing it for the sake of it now. You grip the lever and begin to pull down on it slowly. You hear a sound like stone grating on stone, followed by a soft hissing sound like gas escaping. There's a sudden whooshing sound as the flames shoot out of the dragon's mouths. The flames die down before shooting out again. A few seconds later, fire continues to belch out at intermittent intervals. If you want to push the lever back up, turn to 2. If you want a chance running past the dragons, turn to 2, 110. Well, I think I'm going to push the lever back up. The flames die down immediately. You wait until it's safe to continue. Then you turn to 325. Okay. Half expecting something terrible to happen at any moment, you hurry past the dragons. Fortunately, nothing does. Add a luck point. Way back up to 6. You breathe a sigh of relief. Turn to 276. Okay, 276. You soon arrive at a pit. Oh dear. Which spans the tunnel. Goose drops a stone into the dark depths of the pit and takes a few seconds for it to hit the bottom. The pit's not very wide across, and with a running jump, you're both able to get over. You walk on and become aware of sickly gurgling sounds echoing down the tunnel. It's not long before you arrive at an iron-barred door, which has a key in the lock. On the other side of the door, you see undead creatures with pallid faces and rotting flesh pressed against the bars, their skeletal arms reaching through, most with broken bones and missing fingers. You have arrived at a cave full of zombies who are raging with anger. If you are wearing the ring of the zombies, turn to 66. If you do not possess this item, turn to 135. I didn't get that one. I thought I should, but 135. You have no option but to fight the zombies. You tell Goose that you will attack the front row through the iron bars, while he shoots as many as he can with his bow. Goose counts his arrows and says somberly, I have 12 arrows left and I count 15 zombies. You strike down 3 zombies pressed against the iron bars and tell him to loose his arrows. Roll 2 dice. The total is the number of zombies that Goose has taken down. Okay, let's do that. So, So there's 12 zombies left. So if I roll a double 6, we've killed them all, which would be pretty cool. Oh, sorry. Wrong 2d6. Here we go. Why does it always land behind there? So that's 9. Okay. So you roll open the door and charge into the cave to fight the remaining zombies. You must fight them one at a time. So you kill 3. He takes down 9. That's 12. There's 3 left with skill of 6 and stamina of 6. Okay. All right. This is going to be a bit long-winded. Right. So die roll for the zombie is 7. Die roll for me is 7. I've got the highest skill score, so I win. He takes 2 damage. Oh god, I keep forgetting to put 2 dice on this. Next die roll, that's 7. Eight, I win again. Third round of combat. Oh no, I don't. This is a re-roll. Sorry. Right, third round of combat. His roll. He rolled a 4. I rolled a 4. I've got the higher skill, so I've killed the first zombie. So, god damn it! Zombie number 2. He rolls a 6. I roll 9. So he's taken 2 points of damage. He rolls 9. I roll 9. I've got the highest skill. So if I get him on this one, I've killed him. He rolls 6. I roll 6. Again, I've got the highest skill score, so I've killed him. Right, zombie number 3. He rolls 12. He rolls high. I roll 8. Now, his skill is 6 plus 12. That's an 18 die roll. My skill is 11 plus 8 is a 19 die roll. I still win on that. That was pretty good. So I have to roll quite low, and he has to roll quite high to beat me. Oh, here we go. Second round of combat. He rolls an 11, so he's done well. I roll 4. He won that round. I've taken 2 points of damage. So my stamina is now down to 15. Second round of combat. He's rolled a 7. I rolled an 8, so I won that. Third round of combat. He's rolled a 7. I rolled a 7, I win. And if I get him on this one, he is dead. He's rolled. Yeah, okay. How many? What are you trying to do here? Oh, this is glitching. Shit. Okay, my die roll app is glitching. Let me. I'm going to open it again. Okay, what's going on? All right, thank you. Let's do this again. So, final round of combat. He rolls double 6. Might not be the final round of combat. I roll 7. So he's got skill of, that's an 18. I've got 7. That's a draw. No damage on either side. Next round. 2 dice. Right. He rolls 4. This might be it. Yeah, I've killed him. I rolled a 10. Okay, so I've killed all 3 zombies. Very good. And that was at number 135. And then if I win, I go to 306. So I lost 2 stamina. That wasn't too bad, actually. Goose cheers when the last zombie topples over and lies twitching. While he retrieves his arrows, you notice the cave has a disgusting smell. So bad you're forced to hold your nose. If you want to search the cave, turn to 163. If you want to walk over to the iron barred door at the back of the cave, which opens into another tunnel, go to 383. I think we should search it. 163. There might be some valuable possessions. All you find is a pile of old clothes. The smell coming from them makes you want to retch. If you want to search the clothes, turn to 28. If you would rather go over to the iron door, I feel like there might be something, so I'm going to continue searching. So 163 and 28 I need to put in there. Okay, I got attacked by a flesh grub, and I lose a point of stamina. So looks like my greed didn't pay off. Yeah, so I'm down to 14. That's annoying. There's nothing to be found. Okay, right. So hang on, I've got to roll some dice. I've got to roll 2 dice to see how many flesh grubs attack me. 7 attack me, and then I've got to roll 1 dice to see how many I brush off. 2. So I actually lose 5 stamina. Shit. So I got knocked down to 10. Okay, turn to 383. Right, now I'm going to eat a meal and put that back up by 4. So 383. It's the next one. Yeah. Okay, so I'm eating a meal, putting my stamina back up to 14, reducing my meals down to 7. Right. You search in the lock on the other side of the door and reach through the iron bars to unlock it. The tunnel continues, gradually getting narrow until you find you arrive at a bronze door which is covered in cobwebs. You looks as that hasn't been opened for years. Central panel bearing the head of a gorgon inlaid with gold. Oh dear. She has an evil piercing stare and writhing snakes on her head. When you try to open the door, you see that the lock is also made of gold. If you have a gold key, turn to the number engraved on it. If you don't have the key, turn to 288. Well, I don't, so don't have a gold key. That's the second time I've been asked for a gold key. Goose asks if you have a picklock. If you don't own a picklock, turn to 288. I don't own a picklock. 235. Doesn't he have one? I mean, is this a guy? I mean, he's got a bow and arrow, which is all very good. I've got a ring of fire. I've got a ring of mind control. I've got a potion of wisdom. Can I use the potion of wisdom to pick the lock? Probably not. 235 then. This better not be another your adventure ends here. Otherwise, I'm going to die twice. 235. Oh my God. It is. Goose shakes his head in disappointment. Now what are we going to do? You reply you have no option but go back to Hamlin to find a key which might fit the lock. It takes a long time to retrace your steps. The Iron Giants they go on and destroy everything. Your adventures out. Okay, right. Well, I'm going to say I do have a picklock. So that's 326. So let's go to 236. Right, technically I've failed the adventure twice, so I'm not doing very well on this one. Is it 236 or 326? Sorry, it's 326. 326. The second time. Goose clasps his hands and says, "Wonderful. Please give it to me. I have experience at opening picklock doors without a key. You watch him poke the picklock, and you hear it click. You shrug your shoulders to say it doesn't matter. Picklock is broken inside the lock. It's now useless. You shrug your shoulders and say it doesn't matter and draw your sword. Turn to 1-3-1. Okay, all right. Listen, I could have had a picklock. You don't know. My guy carries all kinds of shit, right? He's got a hairpin. He's got long hair. He's got a hairpin. Turns it into a picklock. Job done. You push open the bronze door and enter a plush chamber. By the hammer of Gilbrallion, it's a Cobrax. Oh my God, look at this thing. That looks pretty mean. It's got a polished marble black floor, white stone walls lavishly decorated with battle scenes of an armed snake, men and women attacking an elven village. There are floor-to-ceiling stone columns carved in the shapes of writhing snakes. As you take in the magnificent chamber, the door slams shut behind you. You hear hissing sounds, and suddenly a 10-meter-long snake with two enormous heads appears from behind a stone sarcophagus. Long forked tongues dart in and out of its mouths. Now, I've got a serpent sword, which is good against snakes. By the hammer of Gilbrallion, it's a Cobrax, shouts Goose. One bite from the Snake Lord and you are dead meat. Goose fires off an arrow, which thuds into the Snake Lord's body. But before he has time to fire again, the Snake Lord rears up to strike you. If you are fighting with a serpent sword, add 2 to your attack strength during each round. Goose's arrows will reduce the Snake Lord's stamina by 1 point for each attack round. If you win, but lose 1 or more attack rounds during the battle, turn to 145. If you win, but you don't lose any rounds, turn to 57. So I have a feeling I need to win regardless. So my skill is 13. His stamina is 10. My stamina is 14. I've basically got to not lose any battles here. Now I might use my luck because you can do something with your luck and does it cause more damage? Or let's have a look. Using luck in battles. If you wound a quick creature, you may test your luck, and if you're lucky, subtract an extra 2 points. But if you're unlucky, you must restore 1 point. Oh, okay. Right, well, let's see what happens. First round of combat. Sorry, 2 dice. Right. I think I'm going to go first. I'm going to roll my dice first. So I've got combat skill of 13. He's down to 9 points of stamina already because he'll take 1 point each round. So my is 9. So that puts me on 22. So even if he rolls a double 6, he can only draw with me. He can't injure me this round. That's good. So he didn't roll a double 6. He rolled a 6. So his stamina is now down to 7. I've taken no damage, and we're on to the second round of combat. He takes another point of damage from the guy's bow, reducing it to 6. And it's my attack again. So my roll, 4. That's not so good. That puts me on 13 plus 4 is 17. So he could win this round if he rolls high. He does not roll high. Good news. I win the round again. 2 points of damage. So he's now down from 6 to 4. And it's the third round of combat. His 4 gets reduced to 3 because of the next bow and arrow. And it's my attack. 2 dice. Sorry. I have rolled 7. Added to my skill, that gives me 20. So he's got to roll pretty high on this one to best me. He has rolled a 10, which is a 20, which means neither of us take any damage. and we're on to the 4th round. Now that's not bad because he's now down. He's down to 3. He was down to 3. That 3 now drops to a 2 because he's taken another arrow. And let's see what happens. My roll is an 8. That's not bad. Sorry. His roll is a 7. He's dead. And I didn't take any damage at all. Nice. So if you win, but you do not lose any attack rounds, turn to 57. Okay, so that was a good result. The combat is furious, leaving you exhausted but relieved. Add 1 luck point. Don't mind if I do. I mean, you know, technically I've died twice already, but okay. You search the chamber and find 100 gold pieces in a vase, which you share equally with Goose, who can hardly believe his luck. So I get 50. So I've now got 51 gold pieces. Nice. You walk to the back of the chamber where you find a gilt-edged bronze door. Turn to 198. Okay. $198. Oh my God! The Medusa or the Gorgon is not dead. Here she is. I mean, how would you kiss that woman? Because, you know, does she control the snakes? I don't think so. The door handle is made of gold in the shape of a snake. You open the door slightly and feel a cold draft of air on your face, which makes you shiver. You do not hear anything. The signal to Goose to keep quiet and follow you in. Now, I've got a feeling that at this point in the adventure, Goose is really wearing his red Star Trek vest at this stage. The resplendent, I like that word. The resplendent tomb-like chamber has 2 rows of floor-to-ceiling fluted stone columns and is lit by glowing crystals set at intervals on the smooth stone walls. There are huge terracotta pots on the floor, and in the center of the chamber there's an enormous white marble sarcophagus with large candles burning on wooden stands on each corner. Behind the sarcophagus, you see a stone statue of a warrior in chainmail and another of an elf with her sword raised. You look around and see more statues, most with a look of terror on their faces. Okay, these are all people that have been turned to stone. It dawns on you that these are not statues, but adventurers who've been turned to stone. The silence is suddenly broken by hysterical laughter. You crouch down and see a figure step slowly out from behind one of the columns. She is wearing a long gown of gold silk, adorned with jewels which sparkle brightly in the light. Her head is not covered with hair, but with a mass of living snakes. It is the Gorgon. She continues to laugh hysterically. Her eyes darting about, trying to catch your eye. You only have seconds to act. If you own a brass lamp, turn to 379. If you do not own a brass lamp, turn to 251. No, I don't. Does this mean my adventure ends here for the 3rd time? Let's see. Goose looks at you with fear in his eyes. If you possess a shield, turn to 355. If you do not possess a shield, I do have a shield. Oh, hang on. I need to write these numbers down. 250. 355. Yeah, I've got a shield. Turn to 355. 355. Right, looks like I'm in a combat situation, guys. Just curious to see Right. You whisper to Goose that you're going to attack the Gorgon with your sword and use your shield as a mirror to look in the Gorgon to avoid her direct gaze. He nods in agreement and sets his bow. You point at your neck to indicate where he should aim at the Gorgon. You stand up and staring at her reflection in your shield. This is all very Clash of the Titans, isn't it? It's making me want to watch the movie again, actually. In fact, I haven't seen that in quite a long time. I feel like I might watch that later today. Because I watched Jason and the Argonauts the other day. Point at your neck to indicate where he should aim at the Gorgon. You stand up and staring at her reflection in your shield. You walk towards the Gorgon with your sword raised, ready to combat hissing snakes that strike out at you. Reduce your skill by 3 during each attack round because of having to fight with mirrored vision. Oh, that's annoying. So that means I'm fighting at a disadvantage of 9 and she's got 10. If you're still alive after 3 attack rounds, test your luck. That's to see if I get turned to stone. Oh dear. Okay, now is he doing damage? It doesn't. I guess maybe we're going to see if he strikes her in the neck or something. Okay. So here we go. All right, dice. Let's get the dice up. Have a feeling my adventure is about to end here. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I like going first in combat, so I'm going to roll my. Oh, sorry, 2 dice. I'm going to roll my dice first. He's got the Gorgon's got stamina of 10. I fortunately have got stamina of 14, which is good. All right, let's see what happens. I've rolled an 8. That gives me 17. The Gorgon has rolled a 7, which is 17. We have equaled in the first round of combat. So we go to second round. Uh-oh. Shit. I've rolled a 3. Now, I need the Gorgon to roll double 1, which I don't think she's going to. No, she's rolled a 9. I have taken 2 points of damage. I'm down to 12. This is not good. Now, I do have a potion of healing, which I know will restore my stamina to my maximum. I'm not going to take it yet, but I might take that. I don't know if I can take it in combat, but you could always take them in combat in D&D. So, hey, I'll just, shout to Goose, distract her with your bow while I drink my potion, but I'm not going to do it yet. I'll wait till my stamina's dropped. Right, okay. So, round 3. I have rolled a 5. This is bad. The Gorgon has rolled a 5. That means the Gorgon wins. I take 2 points of damage because I'm fighting a disadvantage here. I've got my Ring of Fire and my Ring of Mind Control, but they don't seem to be doing any. There's no use here, clearly. Right, next round of combat. Come on, we need to roll high. That's good. I've rolled a 10. That's not bad. That means we're equal because I'm fighting at 1 less. Oh, god damn, I haven't done any damage. Now I've got to test my luck. Let's test my luck because it's 3 rounds of combat. I have failed my luck roll. Shit. I have a feeling I might be dead. Let's see. 318. One of the Gorgon snakes sinks its fangs into your arm, acting on instinct. You cannot help but look at her. Gorgon catches your eye with her deadly stare, and you immediately feel your whole body go tense. Movement becomes difficult as your limbs stiffen. You look at your hand and watch with horror as it slowly turns to stone. There's nothing you can do to stop yourself from becoming another statue. in the Gorgon's tomb. Your adventure is over. Shit. That's the third time I've died on this game. So I've really not done a very good job with the Shadow of the Giants. Okay, I'm going to go back to... I'm going to restart the combat. So put my stamina back to where it was. My skill would equal hers if it was at its original point. How can I... Is there a way I can replace my skill points before going into this? Is there something I'm missing? Hang on a second. I've just read about the potions in the back of the book, and there's a a potion of skill and a potion of luck. So now I didn't actually know about those. Let me see what potions were on sale again at this guy's gaff. What happened to this bloke meeting up with me as well? Because he's not been very helpful, has he? I can't remember which number this, but I mean, if I see the page, there was a big like shopping list. So that's when I spent a load of gold there. I remember I spent 11 gold. Now I know what those potions do. What I basically want to know is if this guy was selling the potions that would help me prior to this battle. I'm fighting this thing with a serpent sword. Isn't that supposed to be good against snakes? Here we go. Potion of healing, potion of wisdom. No, I bought both the potions. Okay, so no. All right. So okay, so I've got to fight this thing. I'm going to fight this creature again. $250. That's wrong. That must have been $350. Hang on. No. I've written some wrong entries there. But there's a picture of the Gorgon. So let's find that entry. So I just want to go back to the beginning of these options and see if there's another way to fight this battle. Whatever happened to that Bindi girl? She was useless, wasn't she? I paid her a gold coin, and for what? I'll be having words with her. Where's the Gorgon? Oh, there she is. Right. It is the Gorgon. Now, let me just double check everything. If you're in a brass lamp. Okay, so the Gorgon, by the way, is on 198. Right, I did have 198. And it was not 250. It was 251 that I went to, not 250. That was a mistype. And then you also had 379 if you own the brass lamp. Let's see what happens. So I suppose at this point I'm going to have to help you, or else I'm going to be left all alone on the back of a statue in a Gorgon's tomb. It's the voice of Twixie, the genie. Oh, the genie in the lamp. Right. So if I'd taken that lamp, don't worry, we can do this, continues Twixel. Just close your eyes, and with my help, you'll be able to see as normal. You close your eyes and find that you can see clearly, as though they were still open. You stand up and walk towards the Gorgon with your sword raised to attack the hissing snakes that strike out at you. So I should have taken the lamp off the guy that I didn't take. If you're still alive after 2 attack rounds, turn to 201. Okay, all right. Well, let's pretend I did take the lamp, and let's fight it on that basis, which means I'm fighting at a considerable advantage. Well, not a considerable advantage, a +1 advantage. All right, I'm on stamina of 15. We'll start this again. I reserve the right to use my healing potion. So my roll 6, which puts me on 17. Gorgon's roll. First round to me. Gorgon takes 2 points of damage. Its stamina is down to 8. Second round of combat. I roll a 3. That's not so good. So 14. Gorgon wins. So second round of combat, my stamina goes to 13. And then it says after 2 rounds of combat, turn to 201. And I'm guessing this is going to be a luck test. In the heat of the battle, you don't even see Goose's arrows flying past your head. One arrow hits the Gorgon in the shoulder, and another arrow hits her squarely in the neck. How come this didn't happen after 2 rounds of combat? Or maybe that was the luck roll, I guess. The Gorgon freezes momentarily, and Goose yells at you to strike. You seize your chance and finish her off with a mighty blow. I knew that would be easy, Twixel says smugly as the Gorgon falls to the ground with her snake still writhing on her head. There are 18 in total, and one by one you watch them slowly perish. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going back to sleep. I've done enough today. When you're done with saving Alancia, perhaps we could go to Port Blacksand next. Good night. You tell Goose how you came to own the brass lamp and what good fortune it turned out to be. Goose shakes his head in disbelief. Yes, and so do I. This must be our lucky day. Turn to 332. So clearly the key to this adventure is take the old lamp off the man. It just seemed a bit dodge. I don't know. I guess I should have investigated it. But you search the Gorgon's tomb and soon find what you're looking for. One of the terracotta pots contains a colony of large red beetles, rust beetles. Okay. Giving one to Goose and putting one in your backpack. We're only taking 2? Really? Why can't we just take the vase? Goose opens the sarcophagus and finds 2 guide olders inside. I should be ecstatic about finding this treasure, but I'd happily swap them for a way out of here, he says gloomily as he hands one to you. You tell Goose that it must be the middle of the night by now, and you suggest you get some sleep and try to find a way out in the morning. I wonder where the Iron Giants are. They can't be far from Hamelin. Goose says as he rolls out a blanket. You manage a few hours of sleep before being woken by the sound of the bronze door opening and closing again. Somebody has entered the tomb. Okay. It's Marikom Yash. There are 3 darts sticking out of his back. He looks up, grimacing with pain. I told you I would catch up with you, he whispers before he can say another word, and his head slumps down on the floor and he exhales his last breath. Well, he was bloody useless. His left hand opens to reveal a small idol made of white marble. It's the same shape as the ones you found in the sarcophagus. You walk around and find similar shaped recesses in the lid. The marble idol fits snugly into the recess. You can see the sarcophagus slowly start to slide to reveal a stone staircase. Mouthing a silent thank you to Marek, you gather your belongings and run down the steps. Turn to 44. So he's dead then. Oh, bloody useless. What was the point of finding this guy? I mean, I guess he told us about the tombs, but I could have gone there anyway. You find yourself in a circular room with plain stone walls. There's a golden gate fixed to 2 gold metal posts in the middle of the room. At the back of the room, there's an open doorway to a passage leading out. There's an enormous humanoid beast on the other side of the room. And there he is. Don't like the look of that. His face is covered by a huge golden mask in the shape of a bull's head with massive gold horns. If you want to walk through the gate, turn to 219. If you want to tiptoe around the gate to reach the passageway at the back of the room, turn to 272. Well, hold on a second. Right, sorry, I'm just replying to a text. I don't wish to be rude. It was just something that required my attention. Okay, so if you want to walk through the gate, or if you want to tiptoe around the gate to the passageway, I think I'll tiptoe around 272. So 272. I have a feeling that we're going to need the combat in a second, so let me wait for a moment before putting the map back up. With your eyes fixed firmly on the bull-masked beast, you tiptoe as quietly as you can. Goose follows with his bow drawn, and you slip unnoticed through the doorway, turning to the passageway and with great sense of relief. Turn to 91. Okay, I feel like we missed something there, but feels like maybe we could have rescued that creature or something. You don't stop to look behind you and hurry down the passageway. It's not long before you arrive at a long pit which spans the width of the tunnel. There's a rope hanging down from the ceiling, which you will have to leap on to swing over the pit. You tell Goose that you'll go first. Do I indeed? Do I? I feel a trap here. Take a running jump, grab the rope, and just manage to swing over to the other side. I'm not so sure about this. Oh, I have a feeling this might be Goose's red vest Star Trek moment. I'm not so sure about this, Goose says, looking anxious. I'm getting a bit old for swinging over pits weighed down by sacks of gold. You tell him not to worry and go for it. He takes a running jump, grabs the rope, but does not have enough momentum to reach the other side. Unable to hold on, he lets go of it and lands heavily at the bottom of the pit. He groans and tells you he's in pain, but doesn't think he's broken anything. You kneel down at the edge of the pit and tell him to grab your hand. Suddenly you hear an ominous grating sound behind you. The stone slab is sliding down from the ceiling to block the passageway. Goose's weight on the pit floor has triggered a trap. He reaches up to grab your hand as the stone slab continues to slide down the floor. If you want to help Goose climb out of the pit, if you want to leave him and roll under the stone slab to escape, I'm going to have to leave him. I'm sorry. I'm going to do my Indiana Jones and grab my hat. 343. I feel bad, but you just managed to roll under the stone slab before it slams down on the tunnel floor with a dull thud. You stand up and shout that you'll be back to rescue Goose as soon as you can. Unsure whether or not he heard you, you set off on your mission alone. I did say he had a red Star Trek vest on, didn't I? 302. Okay. Well, I knew he was not going to... You pass a circular hole halfway up the left-hand wall. There are traces of dried blood on the tunnel floor beneath the hole. You look in the hole and see it's the start of a tunnel, which goes on as far as you can see. Its narrow diameter means you need to crawl along your hands and knees. If you want to crawl down the new tunnel, turn to 387. If you want to carry on walking, turn 155. I think I should probably carry on, seeing as that tunnel's got blood marked on it. 387. God, this. I'll tell you what, this quest is taking longer than I thought it would. Not that that's a complaint. Oh my God! You climb into the narrow tunnel. No. I'm not going in the narrow tunnel. So I went wrong there. 302. I said I'm continuing, so I must have just picked the wrong option. If you want to crawl down the tunnel, 387. Yeah, if you want to carry on walking, it's 155. I misread that. Right, I'm not going in the blood-filled tunnel. Thank you very much. 155. I need to get out of here and go and find the giants. Right, you notice an increase in temperature in the tunnel. It's not long before you come to the edge of another pit. You look down and see the bottom of the pit is filled with burning coals. You have no trouble jumping over the fire pit, but when you land, your foot catches on a tripwire. A section of floor drops away at a sharp angle. You cannot stop yourself falling head over heels down the chute. You land heavily on a rough stone floor. You are lying in the bottom of a rat-infested pit with a broken hip, unable to move. You are trapped and there's no way out. You shout for help, but it's futile. It will only be a matter of time before the plague rats feast on you. Your adventure is over. That's the 4th time I've died on this game. And if I go back to the wrong choice, which is the blood-filled tunnel, I bet that's not going to be good. 387. You climb into the narrow tunnel and work your way along. It's hard going and you feel uncomfortable in the semi-darkness. After a while, you notice fresh patches of blood. You decide to go back. The tunnel's too thin. You hear slithering. Giant mandibles appear out of the darkness. They are rock-boring mandibles of the giant worm-like creatures. You're about to be torn apart by a rock grub. Unable to defend yourself in the narrow tunnel, it will be a short and grisly end for you. Your adventure is over. So if you leave him behind, you carry along the tunnel, and both of those tunnels lead to your death. Right, okay. So let's go back and try not to leave our friend behind. I feel like I was... That's... Okay. If you want to help Goose climb out of the pit, go to 32. All right. I've died 4 times, guys. So this is a pretty hard adventure, this one. Goose jumps up to grab your hand, but he's just out of reach. He jumps again, but you manage to lock hands. But before you have time to pull him up the stone slabs to the tunnel floor, you examine the slab. It's too heavy to lift. You tell Goose the bad news and say there's no choice but to go back the way you came. Why risk going back the way we came when he said we can go this way, he says, pointing at an open doorway in the pit wall. It sprang open when the stone slab hit the floor. You can hardly believe it and lower yourself down into the pit to join Goose. Ah, see, so you were punished. You were punished in the game for leaving him behind to his doom. I'm going to put the map back up because I'm just going to see where we are in the world again. Damn, I did a pretty bad job with this game. I've died 4 times now. Doorway is an entrance to a narrow tunnel with a low ceiling. You walk along the tunnel, crouch down for a considerable distance, come to a dead end where another slab blocks the passageway. Just in front of the slab, there's a large glass orb mounted on a block of stone. You see there's a purple gas swirling inside the orb. If you wish to touch the orb, turn to 264. If you wish to smash the orb, turn to 69. What a choice! Touch it or break it. Well, I think we'll touch it. It's got to be the better option, right? Or is this going to be your adventure ends here and I would have died 5 times? 264. Those are not very good choices. Can we examine the orb, perhaps, rather than touching it? But as soon as you touch the orb, an image of a human skull appears inside it, with purple gas swirling in and out of its eye sockets. Who would leave the Gorgon's tomb? A deep voice calls out from nowhere. If you want to answer with your own name, turn to 188. If you want to answer with a made-up name, turn to 362. Oh, my own name, I suppose. Don't even know what this character's called. Felix Grundy, I say. The skull's mouth opens wide to speak again. So that's 188. Welcome. I know you wish to leave this tunnel, but as you can see, the exit is blocked. I'm the gatekeeper. You are required to answer a question. If you answer correctly, I will allow you to leave. If you answer incorrectly, I'm afraid what happens to you is down to fortune. Now tell me, how many snakes were there on the Gorgon's head? I think it was 34, if I remember rightly. My memory is not very good. No, that's not the correct answer. That is a good question. There was a picture of the Gorgon. I'm going to cheat and have a look at it and see if I can count them. You know, I mean, I've died so many times at this point. It's kind of, we're really just playing the game to see what happens. But now I can't find a picture of the Gorgon. Typical, isn't it? No, God's sake. Hold on. I thought the Gorgon, I'm trying to think what number it was now. 250 was incorrect. 198, I think it was. Yeah. Right, well, I'm going to count them. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 in the picture. Assuming that yeah, 19. I wonder if that's the right answer. Let's have a look. 19 is 18 is the correct answer. The skull's mouth opens again. That is correct. It would appear you've paid attention to detail when you were in the Gorgon's tomb. Congratulations, you're free to go. Turn to 323. Well, I have to say, in the picture, there are clearly 19 snakes, so somebody didn't count that correctly. Okay, so 323. All right, we're getting out of the Gorgon's tomb now. This, I tell you what, this has been damn hard. This thing. You hear a rumbling. Yeah, I bet I do. Behind you, sunlight floods into the tunnel. Stone slab slowly rises up without waiting to be asked. You run outside before the stone slab slides back down to seal the exit to the tomb. You're relieved to be out in the open again. God, you're not wrong there. And it takes a few moments for your eyes to adjust to the bright light. You look around, trying to find your bearings. We're not too far from the cave entrance, says Goose. Look, you can see Firetop Mountain. Yes, I say. I shouldn't have gone there. Let's go to my hut and get my horse. We'll ride to meet the Iron Giants. Okay, 292. It's all happening. Even though technically I'm dead. 292. All right. This is a long section of dialogue. I'm gonna abbreviate it. We go to Goose's hut. I eat some bread and cheese. I restore two stamina. That's up to 15. I might take that potion, but I'm only 2 down. So galloping west, not an hour's passed before you catch sight of the Iron Giants in the distance, just south of Firetop Mountain, walking in a line towards Hamelin. You cannot take your eyes off the gargantuan beast. Now and then you see them stoop and squeeze some poor victim. This is about as close as we can get without being seen.
Jump off the horse and tell Goose that you'll attach the rust beetles to the 2 giants on the left, and he should do the same to the giants on the right. I thought we only took 2 of them. Maybe we took 2 each, and I misread that. They're no more than 50 meters away now. You can see the blank eye sockets in their enormous iron heads. Yeah, well, they're on the cover, so they're on the cover of the book. There he is. You breathe in deeply and wait. Dull thud of their feet stamping down on the ground. You gesture to Goose to find a hiding place from where he can jump out and place the rust beetle. He nods and runs off to hide behind a large rock between the path of 2 of the giants. You find a pile of logs to hide behind. The giant iron's foot thumps down to the ground to your right, making the ground shake. You seize your chance. Reach up and place the rust beetle on the giant's ankle. Roll 2 dice. Okay. I'm not going to switch the map down. I'll just tell you guys what I've rolled. 2 dice. Here we go. I have rolled double 2. I've rolled a 4. If it's less 2 or equal than your skill score, yes. Turn to 1, 4, 2. Okay. So I'm guessing that's a good thing. 1, 4, 2. You manage to attach the rust beetle to the giant before it lifts its giant's foot to take another stride. You look left and see Goose giving you the thumbs up before running, crouching over to his second giant. You sneak up behind the remaining giant, but it senses your presence and reaches down to grab you with its enormous hand. Test your luck. Okay, this sounds like a crucial die roll, so I'm going to share screen with the die app. My luck is currently 6, I believe. Let me just double check. I think it is. Oh, it's 7. Thank God I checked. Okay, 2 dice. We want 7 or below. 8. My luck has gone down to 6. It's possible that I may have died for the... Is it the 5th or the 6th time? I'm losing track now. If you are unlucky, turn to 337. Your adventure ends here. Oh, no. You avoid being grabbed by diving into the undergrowth. Okay. Lose 2 skill points. Well, that's damn annoying. You let the giant walk on ahead before you try again to creep up behind it. When the moment is right, you jump up, this time with success. The rust beetle in place. You look over to see how Goose is faring. You're horrified to see his giant lift its iron foot, catching Goose on the head with its heel. He falls to the ground and does not get up after the iron giant strides away. If you want to go to Goose's aid, or if you want to chase after the giant to finish the task, I think I'll go to his aid, because last time I didn't, that was bad. It was bad, okay? So 349, we're going to Goose's aid. Don't worry, Goose. Maverick is coming. This might be the scene with Goose in the water, and let's see. You find Goose lying unconscious on the ground. You pour water over his face, which wakes him up, but he looks to be in a bad way. If you have a potion of healing, I do. Do I want to use it on him? Oh, go on then. 96. He did, after all, save my life. You uncork the small bottle, pour the potion into his mouth. He sits up, breathing hard. What are we waiting for? Let's go. He jumps up and runs after the iron giant, this time managing to place a rust beetle on its ankle without incident. Securing the knowledge rust beetles are attached to all the giants, you follow them from a safe distance. Right, so I've used my healing potion, but it seems like that was a good shout, so I've got to remove that from my character sheet. Damn, I feel like I may have needed that at some point, but hey, there you go. Turn to 174. I've got some meals, so I can heal myself up with those still. You follow the giants for an hour, watching them crush everything. Without warning, one of them stumbles slightly, and seconds later, another one begins to sway from side to side. Looks like the rust beetles are doing their job, Goose says excitedly, With Hamelin now visible in the distance, you dare not wait any longer. Now is the moment you must strike. You tell Goose to attack the 2 giants on the left with his axe, and you will take the other 2. You crouch. You run crouch down with Goose, wielding your sword to attack the first giant. If you're attacking with a vampire or a fire sword, turn to 1-1-10. If you're attacking with a dragon or a rune sword, turn to 2-5-8. If you're attacking with a serpent sword, turn to 2-9-6. Well, I am attacking with a serpent sword, which I feel will probably be useless. I used to have I had a fire sword before. But I guess it was good against that snake thing, wasn't it? You stride forward, gripping your sword tightly and get in position behind the Iron Giant. There's a reddish patch around a large hole at the back of one ankle where flakes of rust are breaking off. You raise your sword and leap up and strike at the weak spot. Roll 2 dice and add 4 for your sword. If the total is 10 or more, turn to 2-2-7. Okay, this is definitely a live or die moment. I sense it. I sense it in the air. I hear it in the sky. We've rolled 10. If your total is 10 or greater, well, we add 4 for the sword. It's 14. Turn to 2-2-7. Okay, so it looks like I might be about to take out giant number 1. The blow from your sword has a devastating effect, severing the giant's iron limb. You watch the Iron Giant stagger forward, leaving its foot behind. It stumbles, wavers off balance, and falls with a deafening crash to the ground, flattening trees nearby. It tries to stand up, but topples over and falls silent. You hear loud sound of creaking metal, splintering trees as another giant falls to the ground, taken down by Goose, who shouts out triumphantly. I think it's a good shout that I rescued him. You move on to the next giant and see that the hole in its ankle is even bigger than the one in the first giant. You breathe in deeply and charge forward with your sword raised. Roll 2 dice. If you're attacking with a demon or serpent sword, reduce the total by 2. If the total is less than or equal to your skill score. Okay. So my skill score is currently, it's currently 9 because it got taken down by 2, didn't it? Right. That's annoying. Where's my die rolling thing gone? That's there. Right. Okay. So I'm looking to 2 dice. I'm looking to roll low here, I think. Yeah, and I subtract 2. Yep, that's below my skill score. Turn to 196. What is waiting for me at 196? With one mighty blow, you cut through the Iron Giant's limb. You add 2 luck points. Nice. That puts that up to 8, which is good. The Iron Giant staggers forward and crashes to the ground in a cloud of dust and leaves. It mouths a silent cry before coming to rest like a monstrous fallen statue. You look left, expecting to see the last giant fall, but are horrified to see Goose, wearing his red Star Trek vest, being lifted into the air, trapped in a huge iron hand. Goose is hacking at the hand with his axe, but it's having no effect. You run behind the giant and with your sword raised, leap to strike and roll 2 dice. Reduce your total by 2. Okay, so we're basically rolling on the same again. That's a 6. Reduced by 2 is a 4. The total is less, so turn to 3-4-7. So looks like so I think we're going to finish this today, which is good. Because I didn't really want to do part 3 of this. If I could help it, 3-4-7, because it would have been really short. Kind of pointless. Summoning every ounce of strength you have, you land a heavy blow on the giant's ankle, severing its foot entirely. It teeters on its good foot for a second before it tumbles forward, crashes to the ground. When the dust settled, you see the mangled iron carcass on the ground, and Goose is lying motionless nearby, groaning. As you run to help him, The sound of creaking metal begins again, stopping you in its tracks. The fallen giant has lost both its feet, and his body has been weakened by the rust beetle. But chaos magic still sparks from within. It raises itself up on its powerful arms and begins to crawl forward on its hands towards Goose, desperate to defend your friend. You stand defiant in the giant's path, sword in hand. The giant crawls on relentlessly before it stops and raises an enormous iron hand in the air. Are you wearing a ring of entanglement? I'm not wearing a ring of entanglement. I've got a ring of fire and a ring of mind control. Why are these things not any use? If you're not wearing this ring, turn to 97. Your adventure ends here. Better not be. Oh, for God's sake. Standing in the beast's shadow, you lunge forward to strike its underbelly with your sword. It bounces off with a loud clang, unable to penetrate the thick iron hide. The iron giant strikes back with unstoppable power, pummeling you and Goose into the ground with its massive iron fist. Your adventure's over. So if I don't have that ring, I die again. I mean, come on, man. This can't hinge on finding one special item somewhere. That's bullshit. That's the 6th time I've died, I think. Let me go back. Well, I'm going to say I am wearing the ring of entanglement, so let's see what happens. So 116. I missed out a number there, by the way. Just as the giant is about to strike, you rub the silver ring rigorously. A jet of wire web shoots out straight at the giant, coils and contracts around the colossus, which struggles to move. It's not long before the enchanted web completely binds its limbs. It's immobilized. You notice the rust beetle has eaten through the giant's chest plate in 2 places. If you choose to strike the right one, you might be able to pierce its heart. Suddenly you hear a loud crack, like branch snapping. The giant is breaking free. You only have 1 chance to strike. If you wish to thrust your blade into the larger hole, or if you want to aim for the smaller one. If you choose the right one, you might be able to pierce its heart. Probably have to go for the smaller one, I'm guessing. 207. So that's 116 up around 207. You've chosen the wrong hole. I've died again. I chose the wrong hole and I died, and it pummels us into the ground. Goose rolls over. Yeah, we're dead. The giant rolls over and falls silent. Alancia is saved, but you do not live to tell the tale. Your adventure's over. Okay. Right. So let's go for the bigger hole then. I thought that was like a test. 274. I've proper failed this game on every level. You've chosen the right hole. Oh, good. If in doubt, always go for the bigger hole. But was your blow strong enough to pierce the iron giant's heart? Roll 2 dice and add your skill score. Okay. My skill score is currently at 9. I'm rolling 2 dice. I have rolled a 6. Plus 9 is 15. If you're attacking with a demon's sword, you can add another 2, so that's 17. If you total 16 or more, you have broken the giant's heart. If it's less, you've died. Right, well, I actually did win that. 226. Sword strikes home, extinguishing the last sparks of the chaos energy powering its iron heart. There's a bright flash which quickly flickers out. The iron giant collapses and comes to rest. Silence returns, and you turn to Goose, desperate to know if he survived the fall. Test your luck. Okay. Right, that's 226. So, guys, I've died at least 6 times. Gonna test my luck here. I failed it. Turn to 20. I think Goose has done a maverick and he's dead. When you reach Goose, you find him lying motionless. Did we get them all? He asks in a barely audible voice. You look him in the eye and reassure him that all 4 giants have been toppled. I bet those fools in Hamlin won't believe you when you tell them, he whispers, half grinning. You watch his eyes slowly close as his last breath leaves his body. The Iron Giants have been defeated and Alancia is safe. You have a fortune in gold, but you feel deep sorrow for the loss of your friend. You've succeeded your mission, but at great cost. You decide that you'll go to Hamelin and demand that the mayor builds an iron statue of Goose in his memory. Your adventure is over. So that's one ending with a positive outcome, which is in 20, but he doesn't make it. I'm curious to see what happens if you do manage to roll a lucky die roll, which would be 254. Is that another ending? When you reach Goose, you find him lying motionless, but luckily, despite falling from a great height, the bush cushioned his fall. You help him sit up. Did we get them all? You tell him all 4 giants have been toppled. I bet those fools in Hamelin won't believe us, he says, trying to grin. Turn to 400. So this is how you get to the ultimate good ending, is if you also survive and bring back Goose alive. Help Goose to his feet, and although he is bruised and battered, he manages to limp back to his horse. You take the reins and ride into Hamelin to the mayor's office. You recount the story of the Iron Giants. The mayor sends guards out to find the fallen giants, and the guards return an hour later and confirm it's true. The mayor thanks you profusely for having saved Hamelin and declares a public holiday for the next day with a festival to be held in your honour in the town square. Yeah, I don't like your festivals. All my stuff gets nicked. That's all right, David. Thanks for popping in, mate. I'm just about to wrap up. I'm just about to finish. She instructs Hamelin's finest blacksmiths to forge bronze statues of you both erected in front of the town hall, and gives orders for you to be given 200 gold pieces and the finest hospitality that Hamelin has to offer. After a hearty meal and a long sleep in the best inn in town, you enjoy a day of music and merriment at the festival, where the mayor gives a speech on stage praising your heroic deeds. You're cheered and hugged by everybody you meet and are given so many gifts that you need help in carrying them. Occasionally, Goose can't resist saying, "I told you so," to some of the hecklers he recognises from the day before. By early evening, they're all best friends and go off to a tavern to eat, drink and sing and listen to Goose's story. As the sun goes down, you begin to think about your next adventure. The Iron Giants have been defeated. Alancia is safe. You have a fortune in gold. It crosses your mind to build a castle and hang up your sword. Nah. But deep down, you know in your heart that once an adventurer, always adventurer. May your stamina never fail. Right, so I did not succeed in the Shadow of the Giants. In fact, I died 6 times. I got about 2/3 of the way in, and then I died several times. Once in battle, once by a trap, and various other things. I have to say that this quest is particularly difficult because there's a number of occasions where you have to have a thing in order to solve the thing, in order to get the thing. And if you don't have the thing, you're kind of, your quest ends here, kind of thing. So yeah, it's a very challenging book. It was fun. It was good. It was interesting. I liked the story. I really liked the cover, which is the cover actually sold me on buying this, by the way. I thought, oh, that looks like a different one. Fighting giants. Yeah, so yeah, I like this one. It was good. It was good. Good. I've got the sorcery books of Steve Jackson. I bought all 4 of those. I've got another book of Samania. Now, when I do the next one, I won't carry this character over with all their bits and pieces because I think that's unfair. I will have to start with a fresh character, with nothing except what I'm given at the beginning, and yeah, that'll be it. So that's it for my gaming stream today. I'm currently looking at a few things I'm going to do, and I am going to do a video about the morning show, which is one of my favorite shows, but this is the last season. So when this season has finished, I will be doing a video on the morning show, which stars Jennifer Aniston. I really like it, particularly the supporting cast that includes the likes of Karen Pittman and a number of other fantastic character actors. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do the next Lone Wolf book. I will be streaming on Tuesday night, and I think I'm due to do my Operation Lioness or Special Ops Lioness, my thoughts on that show, and I'm due to do that tomorrow. Now I've still got some episodes of that to watch, so if for any reason I am not able to do that at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, I will push it back. I'm going to be on the Critical Drinkers channel on the 2nd of October, so in a week and a bit. And then I've also got special effects makeup artist Jeff Farley coming on to do an interview with me on the 17th. So do check out that. There's all the information. I'm just popping them now. And we've got a special. I'm doing a special with Critical Drinker about The Thing, and I'm also doing a special on my channel about The Thing. So it's going to be a big thing. This and that was voted #1 horror film when we did our top 5 horrors. The Thing came out as #1, which I was quite pleased about because that was my #1. All right, that's it from me. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will do Lone Wolf this Tuesday, but that's another thing I forgot. I'm guest on Monday night on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel. That means I'm going to be up till 5 a.m. So I'm going to see how I feel on Tuesday night about the Lone Wolf stream. I may do it. My voice might need a rest. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I know this was unscheduled, so I didn't expect to get lots of views. But if you did tune in and you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again real soon.